me.
Welcome back to another episode of the We Love Gaming Podcast, episode 55. I am Godly Sovereign, and we are here to talk about games, but I'm not here by myself. I've got Markariah here with me. What's going on, man? How was your week?
It was pretty good, I guess you could say.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's starting to heat up, and then since I'm still kind of hybrid working from home, my AC is not as good at home as it is, in the office.
Right.
So it's hot, man.
The summer melt, dude.
Yeah, dude, the summer melt. And then, my wife's home too. She's pregnant, so she runs a little hotter than normal.
Sure.
So we're both excited for this little heat wave to end. So,
yeah, man. It's been all over the place. Hot and cold, but then smoldering. Like the sun has kissed the earth. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But as you hear, the guy chuckling over here, across from me is Ray, Sir Knight. What's going on, man? How was your week?
It's good, man. It's good. This is probably like my first full week off.
Nice.
With nothing to do.
I see you did some damage, man. You did some damage this week, right?
A lot of games played, got did some damage. So it's been exciting. We'll see how long this little time of Summer of Ray lasts. But this is definitely Summer of Sir Knight. I played a lot of games this week. Got a lot of fun things in this week. I'm finally gotten time to finish and complete games.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to talking about that. Watched all these E3s. All the time
Lots
to do
of
all
E3
that
content.
for once, So it's
awesome.
Been a great week.
Right.
Apart from the heat, but my AC does work, so it's nice and cool in my house.
Nice.
Yeah, so before we get to talking about any of the games we played this weekend, we also wanted to remind you guys about the Patreon. So if you guys click the link below, join the Patreon if you'd like to support, tribute anything, whatever. It's cool. Also, we're going to be, we have shirts down there also in our Etsy store, and we're going to upload a couple more shirts that we have. So, check it out if you're interested.
Yeah, check out the Patreon. There's some tiers for different options which give you additional bonuses for our show if that interests you. So maybe click on it and just check out the tiers. And if you don't want to get nothing, just see what they offer. If it intrigues you, then hop on board.
Yeah.
Right.
Tiers start at just $1 or more. So we'll be grateful for anything.
Anything helps,
Mm-hmm.
So so Markariah, tell us what you've been playing, man.
All right, so I've been playing Ratchet, but before I talk about that, I just want to say I started playing Pokemon Go again, guys. So I'm gonna put my my friend code in the comment section. So add me so we can give each other gifts because a lot of people I guess don't play as much, and on my friends list I don't get that many gifts anymore. So let's be friends on there. So I've been playing Pokemon Go a little bit. I don't know if you guys know, but I've actually consistently been playing Pokemon Go since it came out.
Yeah. I know you've been playing
because my wife and I played together. So
we all played that for a while.
Yeah, so
but you stuck with it.
My wife stuck with it the most, and when they added the feature where I can switch my team to her team, I told her I would start playing it again. So they added it a couple years ago. So I started playing it again because there is some cool COVID features, I guess COVID quality of life features that I wish I played these past years
During COVID.
Yeah, you don't have to do a lot of things in the real world
anymore.
You could do remote raids. Your friends can invite you to raids, so that's really cool.
It's almost like using that hack where you could just add a joystick in and move your character around the world and punch him into a new location or something.
So I've been playing that a little bit. I also fired up Elder Scrolls Online because they released a next gen update. So I just wanted to see how Bethesda next gen felt. And it didn't feel that much different. So I'll just leave it at that. It is 60 FPS. So maybe if I go in a dungeon or if I go in a big PvP battle, I could probably, this feels much better. But just a quick little, I maybe played it for 30 minutes doing a couple quests, running in some instances. But it didn't feel like a game like Returnal or Ratchet feels or looks.
Right.
But it is what it is. So I just fired up just because I wanted to try it because I'm waiting for the Fallout 76 next gen.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that
was a little idea of what it might look, right?
Exactly.
Because it's a Bethesda. Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense.
So played that very briefly, and then I spent maybe 3 or 4 hours into Ratchet and Clank. So my first impressions is this game looks incredible. The fur on these creatures' heads, the texture, I never really seen this type of texture in a game before.
Every little hair
moves
to the wind and everything. Yeah,
moves like in other games we've seen that they're like a static.
Right.
But this is like a living, like you're saying, it's
living,
moving with the environment. So the graphics are impressive. I put it on the performance mode.
RT.
Yeah.
Ray tracing. Yeah.
The performance RT. And it feels buttery smooth. In a game like this where it's a lot of quick action, it's like platformer. So the controls need to be tight and precise. And with 60 FPS, it feels tight, really good, really nice. It's a very enjoyable game. I like, the collection aspect where each map, it's not like super like, you're treasure hunting, but it's just hard enough to be like, oh, let me, you see how many bolts are in each map. You see how many armor pieces are in each area.
Just intriguing enough to hunt it all, right? Yes.
And it's like pretty accessible. I would say one thing about the whole game is it's not trying to be the most difficult game, but it's just trying to be a fun game.
Yep.
The bosses, I've only done 4 bosses so far, but it seems like, I would say my only criticism with the game is the bosses seem very similar to each other. But that's okay. It's like I said, it's not trying to be the most difficult Dark Souls. Boss
exactly.
It's just trying to be more like, what is it? Thematic or cinematic, like just kind of telling a cool story. So I really like the game so far. I haven't beat it like you guys because I said, or like I think you said you did. You'll talk about it, but I put about 3 to 4 hours into it.
Nice.
And I've been wanting to play it.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, I've been wanting to jump back in it. Yeah. Like that game was really cool. You could play it for 30 minutes, an hour, and you could actually make some progress. It's cool, like unlocking the bolts and getting some cosmetic things. I like the trees. I like leveling up the weapons. That's all cool. It's not super hard. Is 5 the max on weapons?
Yeah.
Okay, because
you can get a weapon to level 5 already.
I've got like pretty much all my weapons to 5 so far.
Damn.
Oh
really?
no, what do you mean?
Just like leveling it up.
Yeah. So how many weapons do you have right now?
Like 8, 9.
And you got them all to level 5?
Pretty much all of them. Yeah.
You only play for 4 hours?
Yeah.
No, that's impossing, man.
That sounds like you've been doing some like crazy ass work.
Well,
I'm trying to understand what you mean by level 5.
So not maxing out all the gem, like the hex things, just because what I was doing when I first played for like 45 minutes was I was killing that big old dinosaur to get all of those gems. So I kept killing that dinosaur maybe at least 15 times.
How'd you keep procking the dinosaur though?
Huh?
How'd you keep bringing the dinosaur?
Because once I killed it, I jumped in the water and died. And then it respawned again, because when I killed the dinosaur once, I noticed like I got like a full level on my weapon. So like with my little pea shooter gun, I killed it like once or twice, and it was like 4, almost level 5. So I was like, oh, I'll do this with all the weapons I have. So then the fungi dude, I just kept pulling out the fungi dude, got that to 5, got my shotgun to level 5, and then what was my other gun? So I think I got at least 5 guns level 5. And 3 weapons that I just bought later.
So you found a farming area?
Yeah, I was just trying to farm those little crystals. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I noticed after I killed that dinosaur, I went up and I fell in the water and I was like, crap. And it respawned me and I was like, oh, I still have all my EXP, and it gave me 4 of those, like those little crystals you find on the map.
The raritanium.
The raritanium. It gave you 4 every time you killed it. So I was like, oh, let me just keep killing it and try to unlock all the gems on my pea shooter, and on my fungi, and on my shotgun.
That's crazy because I was using the pea shooter for like the majority of the game up into that dinosaur is when you have like the purple orb. Is that what I was telling you? How the dinosaur was fighting the little mobs?
Yeah, so it's way before that. So it's right when you get to
the first dinosaur you see.
Yes, yes. He's like sleeping.
Okay. Oh, the one that's sleeping.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I just farmed that guy for a while and got
because I was using my pea shooter almost exclusively for like the first 3 or 4 hours, and that's why I asked you, have you got a gun to level 5 yet?
Right.
Because right at the end of my first 3 to 4 hour playthrough, when I got to her base, I just hit level 5 with my gun.
Got you.
I just hit it.
But that was the only gun that you were actually using, right? Like you didn't go to the chick and buy more guns?
No, I bought every gun I could buy, but I wasn't using them all.
Right.
I was primarily using the green pea shooter because I just liked the way it felt.
Right.
It felt a lot like the gun in my opinion of Returnal. Yeah. Right. It felt very similar. Because I was mentioning how the combat felt super similar to Returnal. But I was also using the shotgun too, so I was switching between like those 2 guns primarily, and it took me like that long to get my gun to level 5, which is why I'm like super shocked. I don't even know if I have 8 guns on my character right now that are level 5.
Yeah.
And I beat the game. So that's
I
pretty
for
crazy.
sure have
I
four.
know.
I have for sure 4 or 5 that are maxed out because when I was killing that dinosaur, I grinded like maybe 100, 200 of those crystals. And my pea shooter, I maxed it out like all the gems, like those little hex thingies.
Yeah.
I got every single one of those.
My
fungi. Because I was like, I just want to max out these weapons so I could try other stuff. Because I was trying to unlock an achievement, which is glitched, I guess. But you have to kill 5 of those dinosaurs. Because I tried to do the achievements on the way.
Okay.
But there's an achievement to kill that dinosaur 5 times, but it was never popping up. So I just kept killing them and killing them and killing them. I was like, oh, this is like good EXP for the weapons. And I never got the achievement, but I killed it like, no joke, over 20 times. I kept resetting, like jumping in the water.
Maybe those dinosaurs just offer way more
They
experience.
give good EXP.
I mean, I know that they offer
like
more
a boss.
experience, but you just don't come across them that often.
Yeah.
So the fact
It's
that
like
you
maybe
found
that's
a
why.
lot.
Maybe that's why. That's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. So that was one little thing I discovered.
It's nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
But
It is weird though, because like in the game, once you hit level 5 with the gun, you kind of want to keep using it because it actually really changes the way the gun works and feels. Right? Like the pea shooter went from a single fire to a
like
3
3.
shot. It made it 3 times as more powerful.
Yeah.
That's like a major change.
Yeah.
It didn't just double, but tripled the output.
Same with the fungi dude. Like now I get 2 instead of 1.
Every time you throw it out, right?
I could throw up to 2 instead of 1.
Oh, okay.
So before
now
5,
you have twice as many.
So I just
Right?
throw those.
The
and just run out.
shotgun gets 4 barrels instead of 2 barrels.
And
so
they
you pull the
kind
trigger
of
down, you're shooting 4.
Yeah.
they go out or something like that.
Well,
It's
if
almost
you
like
put
some
if you put every single slide on the hexagon, you got lots of area effect on that shotgun. So I'm just saying, like it's really fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like that's one of the funnest things, is getting your gun to level 5. Like it's like, because I didn't know that would happen.
No.
The moment I got to level 5, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
That's a trip. And I saw the thing shoot out there. I was like, whoa, that's a trip.
Yeah, when you told me about 5, I was just like, oh, okay, I'm like at 4. So I just used my pea shooter a little bit
And
more.
you saw it, right?
And then I finally hit 5, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what he was talking
Yeah.
about now. So I was
It's
like,
like
I
an
need
event.
I need to get the terrorizer up so I can get that.
I need to get that to level 5
and
now,
that
right?
one,
Yeah.
that one hits.
Yeah,
so I was
yeah.
like, oh,
It's like
And
a
then it's
boss
nice.
killer, man.
Yeah,
you
it's
kill
nice
a boss
'cause-
like fast with a shotgun.
yeah, and it's nice because every single level you get a lot. You unlock more
More
of
of
those
the
hex
grid.
nodes.
Yeah.
And then you fill those up, and those are like more ammo. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
And different things
yeah,
like that.
for
So
sure, for
all that
sure.
stuff was like dope. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for
It
sure.
made your gun like way more brutal.
Absolutely.
But then it kind of makes you only want to use like a couple of guns.
That's
that
what
are,
I
like,
just
the
was
level
saying.
5.
I was just saying that exact thing. That's the weird thing.
Because it makes it so much more OP than all your other guns.
Right, but the thing is, you actually don't want to do that because you want to get other guns to level 5 too, and so you're kind of
Try
like,
everything.
do I keep using my favorite 2 guns, or do I try this out and get this level 5?
Yeah.
And I didn't look up and see what any of them did, so like it's kind of fun to see what will happen.
Well,
what will
for
happen
sure.
when this gun hits 5? Right?
Did you use the electric pistol one?
Oh yeah, I got that level 5 too.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that one
That
level
one's
5 yet,
OP
but it's
as F,
really
dude.
nice already without the
That
level
one's
5.
OP.
I don't
In
think
my
I got
opinion,
that
is the
gun
most
yet.
powerful gun.
I don't think I unlocked
Not for killing bosses, but the most powerful gun for killing trash.
The mobs, yeah, because they just chain.
Because the small mobs literally have like no HP. You just
Right.
have to hit them.
Yeah,
So the chain lightning, once one dies, like I think abilities like once one dies, it chains.
right.
So it's just they're just all dead. Like 1 or 2 shots, they all die.
Yeah,
But what I would do too is I would shoot them for the bigger mobs. Wait till they clicked on the chain and run up there and just hit them. So I would.
you talking about the stun lock?
Yeah. So I
when they
would
get
like shoot
electrocuted?
them.
Yeah.
I would shoot one, get him, stun locked.
Yeah.
Hit him. He dies. Chains it to everyone out, and then you go hit everyone dead.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I was killing like big mobs.
okay.
So I just like, which is why I wish they put a level up system on the weapon too. There was no way to make like your weapon.
Oh,
stronger.
on your wrench.
melee weapon.
Yeah,
yeah.
that
There
would
was
be
no
cool.
like interaction with your melee,
Yeah.
apart from just the base it was doing, the base damage it was doing.
Did you do the arena?
I did all the arenas all the way up.
I just did the one introductory one.
You can't do the arena because they unlock as the story progresses. They will
Oh,
not let
okay.
you.
Because I
through.
finished all of bronze, and
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, silver's gonna unlock.
Once bronze is
and
finished,
then
silver
I was like,
unlocks. Yeah,
damn,
I thought
it's
the
not.
same thing.
So
Exactly.
I figured I had to
Yeah.
go through the story or
Exactly.
whatever. But so you went all the way through gold and did them all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have to get the spy bot and stuff and some of the armor pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that they had some little thing. I don't know what they give you in silver and gold or whatever, but
Yeah, there's like 2 spy bots, and one of them is in gold. So you have to get the gold if you want all the spy bots,
Gotcha.
and you get a really dope weapon. 'Cause
When
I
you
got
get all the spy bots?
Yeah, you get the secret plans.
So
weapon.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is a game that's a very attainable platinum, and I feel like after you beat it, you probably just have to go back and collect some, because it seems like all the achievements, other than killing the 5 dinosaurs, everything is like things that you just do in the story or completing the map.
I got like almost 80% of all the trophies in my first playthrough.
Nice.
It was like 70-something%.
That's really good.
It's really high. I'm like,
really
I kind of just go. I didn't know about the 5 dinosaurs. Maybe I got them because I killed quite a few dinosaurs on my playthrough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like you're playing the game and you're just kind of like collecting a lot of things and things just kind of happen.
Yeah,
I just shock 5 enemies in a row. You're like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to play like and the reason why, like, I just made it to like the 3rd world where you have to find the apprentice, and like I just was like getting into that one because I was like, oh okay, well let me go back and see like
Do you have the
what
boots?
was here.
The hover boots?
Yeah, those are dope, dude.
You just got those in that world, right?
You get them as soon as you arrive. Yeah.
Dude.
Those are dope.
And you can like
yeah, you can skate and then speed jet it.
Anyways, I'll let Mark finish.
It increases your travel.
Give us your final thoughts, man.
My final thoughts is the game is an outstanding example of a platformer. It showcases the PS5 wonderfully. And I think it's a must play, at this point. It's a must play game. It makes me want to try the Ratchet and Clanks a little bit more because they're just a cool little game. But obviously, they're not going to have this level of, controls. It's not going to feel as good. So I do want to play them one day because, I am a fan of the humor and the art and everything's cool. It's just chill, awesome game. I'm glad I got to play it. Shout out to GameFly for, not taking too long. I got it, last Saturday.
That's pretty cool. That was
you literally got it like right after the podcast.
Yeah. So I'm really happy I got to play it.
Where I know you haven't finished it yet, but where does it kind of stand for? Is it a game of the year contender for you?
That's a good question. I would say it is a game of the year contender for me.
We're talking about like all
top
games
10.
released
We're talking
this
about
year?
like we did last year.
Games this year.
I would say it's easily
like
one
if
of the top
you're
10
thinking about
best
making
games
your
I've
top
played.
10, is it?
I think so.
Would this be a contender for your first spot? So at least so far.
I think so. Not number 1 spot, but it's definitely in the top hunt for me.
But it could maybe hit number 1, or is there something else that's number 1 for you?
Top
right
5 maybe?
I would say right now it's the top 3 for sure.
Top 3.
Top 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's really not that many games that have come out this year.
There isn't a lot.
So it's fairly easy for it to be listed as a top 3.
Yeah.
But I feel like towards the ass end of the year, like November, December, might have some more competition. I mean, we still have Kenna that's gonna come out, so we don't know how that's gonna be or do.
Yeah.
We have like some of those other games. I don't know if you guys are interested in any of the Nintendo stuff, like Mario Sports and stuff like that, like the Mario Golf
Party.
and all that,
Can't
Super
wait for
Shot
that.
and all that.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, so I beat the game now, and in my opinion,
how many hours by the way? Just for the record.
My PS5, because there's no hour counter in the game that I could find. There's only a % counter.
Uh-huh.
It said 19 hours, but
19 hours.
I would leave it on idle quite a bit, walk away from my PlayStation, come back. Every pause screen it keeps track of. So I think you got to knock at least,
a couple hours.
4 hours, probably 3-4 hours off.
So you'd say at least you put
I'm thinking about like
hours?
15 hours probably. Is what I'm thinking.
Nice.
So it's not the longest game, 14, 15 hours. If you really just want to blow through it, like I was trying to collect quite a bit. If you just want to like blow through it, you could probably do it in like sub 12, probably under 12 hours if you want.
Way more than Biomutant, but
yes, still a lot more than Biomutant, but not massive either. Which I'm totally fine. That's what I was saying before. I like these nice 10, 12 hour games, which is why I wish Returnal had been this, in my opinion. This type of game too, where you're just like moving through it, make it as hard as you want, but like moving through it, and you have 10, 12 hours, and you got a great adventure.
Right.
But in my opinion, like this game is like the only knocks I can really give it are there's just some bugs occasionally that I ran into. Like I definitely ran into the ones where I would clip on the boxes and I would like float. Do you run into that?
Yeah, I ran into that one.
There was one instance where towards the end of the game you're trying to save a character and you're like trying to escape a facility, and so you're like, come on, get out of here, and everything's blowing up around you, and the camera would just twitch and throw me into a wall. Or like throw me off an edge. And I had to do it like 4 or 5 times. It was really annoying.
That is annoying.
There were a couple others that I ran into as well. None of them like crashed my system, but they would just be like really annoying. I'm like, wow, that just killed me.
Yeah.
Glitches. So
I had one that locked my system up.
You had one to lock your system up, huh?
Yeah, I was leaving the 2nd planet to head to the 3rd planet, or back to 1 or something like that. And I got in the ship, and then it took off, and then it just gave me a black screen. Like, you couldn't hear anything, no loading, whatever. So I opened up the menu, and then I tried to close the application, and then it went closing game, and then it just stayed there, and it locked up on it.
Okay.
And then I tried to like press the menu button again, and then it like pulled up halfway.
I think I did have an instance where I was no longer able to move my character with my controller, and I had to close the game and relaunch it.
Okay.
One time, I think that did happen.
Yeah.
But I don't remember like it locking, but like my controller all of a sudden like wasn't working.
Yeah, I was trying to shut the PlayStation off with the power button. It was not going. And then I literally had to unplug it and then plug it back in order to get it to go. Because it was just straight locked.
That definitely didn't happen.
And then when I got back on, it was like, send this error or something like that. Report this error to.
So there are some minor polish problems.
Yeah.
Which is difficult when it's a first party game, right? It's fine, if third party, second party games that might happen, but when it's like a first party game, it's very difficult to excuse those mistakes because these should be perfect. First party games need to be like the perfect thing,
right? You've only been playing them on this system.
Yeah,
right?
This is it. This should be perfect.
All of the testing.
But I will say the game is really hard to not make a game of the year contender only because of how incredible like every other aspect of it is. Like how beautiful it looks. It really is probably the most beautiful looking game like to this date that I've seen. Like I think Last of Us 2 is really incredible too, but this is it's just wow. Like I'm just blown away by the level of detail, like the worlds too. Like when you got to that first world with the boots, how much plants and growth and just so much crap going on. Like I'm blown away by the technical accomplishment of this game. One
thing I was a little disappointed with was that a lot of the buildings or whatever were more for look than actually being there.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to climb buildings and and using like lip edges and stuff like that. And there was areas that I was like phasing into because it wasn't there. It was just like a skin, but it wasn't actual.
Yeah. I ran into areas where it seemed like it wouldn't let me double jump. Like it did not want me going there.
I had an issue with double jumping in the arena. Like sometimes I would double jump, but it would do a single jump and I would immediately fall into the lava.
Yeah, that's what happened with me in some other areas. It's like, that's weird. They just didn't want me, I guess, to double jump here. But like the beauty and the polish and the characters I thought are really likable. Yeah. I actually really like Rivet. They did a great job with her. She's not, cool. Sometimes like I think they make these female characters like a little bit rough around the edges, very untrusting, skeptical. Sometimes I think they can make female characters that way and be a little more off-putting. Then like eventually they kind of break in their shell and they open up. But she was just like really cool from the onset. She wasn't like, skeptical of Ratchet. She was a little skeptical of the robot, but like she was immediately like wanting to be friends with Ratchet. Yeah. She wasn't like, there wasn't like any tension. I think sometimes they create this tension between characters. There just wasn't. She was just likable, fun, wanting to help. Wanting to, fix it with Rivet, wanting to be friends with Ratchet. I just really I thought she was a great addition, in my opinion. A really, really well done addition to the cast. I think like this game is so endearing enough. Like the characters are so endearing and the game feels so fun and unique and special that this is like Sony needs to really capitalize on this, man, and make this like their Mario, in my opinion. Like really make this a series, push it, really take. I think there's a lot that they can do here.
It's been around. I think it's like 5 games deep or something like that.
Yeah, but there's something about this game in particular. I think with like the cast of characters and the Pixar kind of way it feels, it feels like it can compete with the Pixar movie as far as like the writing and visuals. And this is a game, it's not a movie, but for some reason it feels like it can compete with those as far as like endearment. I don't know. The game is just really good. It's really, really good. I can't say enough about it. It has its flaws, which is why I would probably give it a 9. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I wouldn't give it more than that. But it's really good. I can't say enough good about it. Like Mark said, it's a must play. Honestly, I know like you would look at it and like, it looks kiddish and not my kind of thing, but it's really
pretty fun.
awesome.
Really
and that's the thing too. Like, it's an ode to fun.
Yeah.
Right. Like we were saying last time, Dark Souls, Returnal. These games are fun, but they're hard and they're punishing and they're dark, and it's nice to not have that for once.
Yeah.
Like, I love those games too, but it's nice. Just, man, this is just an ode to fun. Mm-hmm. It's just fun. I just want to have fun. Yeah. And that's what this is. And it's a good break. And I think they nailed the balancing really well. Kind of like what you were saying, like the balance between it being big or small, rewarding to look through each corner. It's balanced really well, where you don't feel like you're wasting your time. You're getting rewarded enough, but it's not also so big that you're like wasting lots of hours hunting everything. Like and the balance between fun and difficult is like really well done. Mm-hmm. Like, I died very rarely, but I still had to play. It was still like enough where I have to play or I could die. I got close a few times, down to 10 health or 7 health or whatever. Yeah. Like, one more shot and I'm dead, and I really got to make sure I'm on point now. But it was just so well balanced in that way to keep it fun and not hard, but still hard enough where it's worth it. Yeah, and it matters.
And I thought that the little puzzles that they added in there with
Did you notice you can skip those puzzles
with the spider thing?
Did you notice that?
I did discover that.
Did you accidentally skip one just to see what it did?
So, like, there's a part you could skip the cinematics. So I did skip 1 or 2, and I thought that the puzzle was like a cinematic when I did part of it. And it said skip puzzle, and I just skipped it. And I was like, wait, I was supposed to keep playing that. But I discovered that later.
Yeah. If you press the start button on the puzzle, you can skip it.
Oh, okay.
I thought that's
the menu
weird.
Option.
The menu option. I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah.
How do you? I mean, I don't want to keep going on and on
kids.
About it, but
probably kids.
Yeah, for kids.
Probably kids.
The last couple puzzles were a little more challenging. I did every puzzle. I never skipped them. Yeah. The first ones I thought were really simple, but the last couple were pretty tough. The last ones, like to save the world kind of puzzles, they put some effort into making those kind of tough.
Okay.
They were kind of fun. I do kind of get why they put it in there, because the shooting, because that is so much fun. This isn't quite as fun as that. Yeah. And it kind of takes you away from that. And I can see they're probably really wrestling with.
Now, what puzzles are you talking about? Like the Clank puzzles?
The Clank puzzles where the guys are running and you have to throw the orbs in to shoot them over
the pack.
Right, and then also the other ones with the little robot. I forgot what
those were
thing
fun.
Is called.
Actually,
those are cool.
Bit or whatever her name was. Yeah, those were a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed those.
Because it was just a different way, and then
I think
it's a little virus.
Yeah. So there's one straight out of the gates on the first level that I did.
Oh, is there?
You had to go in and...
No, that's Clank. That was the one with Clank,
There's one where you're like little spider lady.
Okay.
And you're going in and you're cleaning the virus. There's like 8 areas.
Right.
You kill all the little creatures in there.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I did. I
thought those were cool because you had to like figure out how you're
really
gonna cross the terrain.
Figure out how to get over each part.
Yeah, exactly. The change of perspective was a trip. Yeah. You find yourself like, I wouldn't like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Moving your head, trying to follow the whoa, like, and then like it becomes actually right side up,
right?
Which is kind of like how space is. There is no up or down. It's just your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
They did a great job with that field. Those were really good. I'm talking about the Clank puzzles.
Okay, yeah.
I've
only done one so far.
Those are just okay.
Yeah.
They do pull the immersion away of fun. Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah,
but they're not bad puzzles.
It's almost something to just to
incorporate Clank
to keep you, to keep you going, like so it's not all the same stuff all the time. You know what I mean? It's like something else.
I thought it was cool that they kind of dabbled in open world. Like, I don't think you've got there yet, but you have, where you get the boots. You haven't got the hover boots yet. So that's in one of the worlds that come up. That might be your next world, and it's pretty open.
Yeah.
I don't know. I explored like that whole thing.
It's like a desolate landscape.
It's pretty
almost
big, and you need the boots to traverse it. It's big enough.
It just would take so long.
It would take a long time running normal because it's close to an open
world. Now, do you have those boots on every other planet? Like, you have that from then on?
From then on. I used them in like small corridors too, just to move faster.
That just makes
you move faster.
Yeah, that just makes your traversing a lot more. It's almost like a mount.
Yeah, it is. It's your mount.
It's like having that little speeder bug or whatever. Are you able to use those across water or you fall?
About the
hover boots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
them across water.
So you don't even have to grab the bugs anymore. You could just take.
Well, that's the poison The poison, you have to use the bugs.
Oh, okay. Right.
But when I came across waters, I was able to go over water.
Okay.
But when I came across bugs, the poison swamps, I had to use the bugs.
Okay.
But I thought that was really neat. They kind of dabbled in it. Like
I think
can
that's
definitely
Rivet
see.
Anyways, right? That planet's like Rivet.
Rivet
only.
is always.
So
but Rivet has the hover boats too.
Oh, does she?
Everything is shared.
Yeah,
Everything
like
is
that.
shared,
I like that.
which I appreciated that. But it made me think like this could be a great open world game because they did it was like a little dabble in it, that planet.
Yeah.
And kind of her planet too. The swamp planet is kind of like an open world.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
But it's like there is like a path you got to kind of like follow. Where this other planet is just open. You know?
Yeah. I was like a little at the start. I was frustrated of the dragon on the first world. That you get on when you fly her, when you finally do that quest to fly. I'm like, dude, what is these markers on the side of the it's like a reticle or whatever, but I don't know what it's for because I'm clicking buttons and I'm not doing anything. So there's shit on top of buildings and stuff that I cannot get, those little purple things. And then once I collected a few and you were able to finally, I was like, oh, finally. Okay. I was like, now I can collect them all. Because I was like, dude, I was
flying all over the place.
Smashing into the walls and like falling off of it
too.
A bunch of times trying to figure out how to get these things.
Me too.
Because they were like in your immediate vicinity. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm supposed to use an ability to get them, where is the ability?
I came close to giving up on it.
Yeah.
I came close to saying, you know what? This is taking too much of my time. I want to keep playing. Like, this is stupid. But I got one and like eventually it clicked on the ability to shoot and then you got the ability to hover and that like made the flying so much better.
You could hover off top, but it was just the fact that you couldn't attack anything while you were in the air on that. You know what I mean? So it was just
that was
you always had to land
annoying.
And then go and grab the things and then take off again to a new area. But yeah, I was just like, dude, F these things. I'm just going to see what other stuff I can get. And then
I got all of them.
Once I got a few, I got them all. So I could get the boots or whatever that was that I could get.
The spy bot. I did it because you got to the spy bot. You need the spy bot if you want the ultimate weapon.
Right.
Anyways, fantastic game. I think this is a great renaissance for Sony. I think they really need to grab hold of this and make this something special like Mario for them. Sure. And really, really utilize it. Insomniac Games, I can feel the similarities between this and Spider-Man. I can feel it.
Yeah.
They're very similar. Like even the end, it feels like a Marvel. There's something that Marvel-y about this game to me. I don't know. I can see all the similarities. Totally Insomniac. Insomniac's doing some really incredible stuff. Good for them.
They've been making some solid games, man.
They're one of the premier developers now. I mean, I don't think they're a Naughty Dog level developer, but they're up there, man. They're one of the premier developers, I think, in my opinion, up there with Bethesda, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's incredible stuff.
That definitely took their it stepped their game up on this one. So I can't wait to see the next Spider-Man. How that one's gonna look.
Isn't it something like they just keep getting better with every release?
Yeah, because Spider-Man was like damn good.
Because like the original Ratchet and Clank was fun,
Morales.
And then Spider-Man was really good, and then I thought Miles Morales was better.
Yeah,
than Spider-Man in my opinion. And then this, I think, is better than even the Spider-Mans. And just like every game, they just get better and better.
I hope potentially they don't wait 5 years to release the next Ratchet game. Because the last one was 2016. I don't know how the DLC works for Ratchet, but either it would be cool to have some sort of expansion, maybe adding some more biomes to the base game, or just releasing that as a second game, maybe not charging us the full 70, kind of like,
Miles. Miles route. Yeah,
maybe like a shorter
like
game.
a Rivet, just Rivet only or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. So hopefully,
I would love that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind a Clank game. Give Clank a little bit more love.
What, a puzzle
Clank,
game?
No, Clank DLC or something.
Like
I don't know,
game?
or being able to fight in the same world
We've never seen him fight before.
Yeah,
he's just always puzzle related. But yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So that's it for the games we've been playing. I obviously played Ratchet and Clank as well, so I didn't get to beat it. So nothing really much more to talk about. Once I finally beat it, then I talk about that.
Definitely.
But let's move on to the quick shots. So the first one we got is of course Elden Ring was announced in E3 and whatnot, and it looks like there was an article, an interview
George R. R. Martin
that came up with George R. R. Martin. I forgot who the woman was or who did the interview or whatever, the company. But she was talking with George R. R. Martin about the game Elden Ring, and he was saying that he's been worked on this, like he hasn't touched it or seen From Software in like a couple of years, basically. Like,
yeah, what did you get, Mark?
He did like a couple years ago.
I would say the main thing that we learned from this is that Elden Ring is actually a sequel to Dark Souls. So I don't think, they alluded to that at all. We just saw this awesome world, but I think we kind of speculated that, since it's George R. Martin, this is going to have some separate, story. It could potentially take years to make because how George R. Martin is. But no, we learned that he's been done with his piece for a couple of years now, like you were saying, and that it's a sequel to Dark Souls. So I think that's crazy. Like, that blew my mind. I was like, wow, so this is in line with all the Souls games. That's awesome.
It makes so much sense, right? When we were looking at how the characters were fighting and how the movements and stuff and that actual character, what it looked like it kind of just reminds you of nothing but Souls. So
Absolutely.
But it's great that it's not like they just took, creating a new IP and then just like stole a, the main skeleton of Dark Souls. It's like that for a reason because it's a new continuation.
Written world that he gave them, right? But it's like, so it totally, like, when I first saw it, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, what did you just say? Like, it seemed like it slipped. Like, it didn't seem like he felt like he was slipping. He was just talking normal. But like, that's probably something From Software wouldn't want him to say. But like, he doesn't know. He's just talking about what they told him.
They haven't talked to him for like 2 or 3 years.
And so they approached him clearly. I'm assuming they approached him and said, "Hey, we're trying to make a sequel here that's different than Dark Souls, and we want you to write the world and the setting and all this." And he said, "Sure."
Yeah, he said he basically gave them like a basis to go off of, and then they took it from there.
Yeah, they've been showing him monsters.
So they did what they did,
creatures and.
Just to get a little bit of feedback, I guess. But
a lot of people, if you watch, that's the big thing though, is that he said the word sequel. Yeah. That's the big thing, and like, it's all the buzz right now. And people are like, no, there's no way, he can't mean that. He must mean a spiritual successor, like Dark Souls is the Demon Souls. And it's like, for me right now, in this moment in time, I'm just gonna take the dude at his word. Yeah. I'm going to assume that the dude knows what a sequel is, or he wouldn't have used the word. Yeah. He didn't seem hesitant. Like, I think it was a sequel or some successor. Like, he used the word sequel. Like, he felt confident about it. He said it confidently in the interview. That's like, okay, well, I'm just going to take the dude at his word, and this is a Dark Souls sequel.
So what does that mean, though? It's Dark Souls 4 Elden Ring?
Well, did you know that Elden Ring was actually originally intended
to be a placeholder or something?
A DLC for Dark Souls 3. Another DLC for Dark Souls 3. The concept for Elden Ring was intended to be another DLC for Dark Souls 3. No. But they ended up expanding it and making it a much larger thing. And so I think when they approached George R. R. Martin, it was all related to Dark Souls. And so this is a Dark Souls sequel, right? And I think, it'd be cool. They do use the words like the Ember of Ambition, like they use that flame word in this trailer, right? And so it makes you think, maybe this is what the world turned into after Dark Souls 3, right? When either you lit the ember or you let it extinguish, whatever way you chose to go,
right?
And this is what occurred. And supposedly there's multiple endings in this game, and you're right, it's a hub. Just like, and I said Shadow of Colossus, it's identical to Shadow of Colossus. You have the open world, and you just kind of go into these tentacles, and like you were kind of saying, you go into the world, and it's its own level, contained level, and it becomes on rails again. And then you leave,
right?
And then you go to another one. You can do it whatever order you want to do it. So it's definitely all these things all the things we speculated on. It is, like, everything about it is what we speculated. What was it? The world changes. There's dynamic night and day. It's dynamic. Nice. So that means when it goes into nighttime, you're harder to see, but so are your enemies. Enemies change. You change. There's multiplayer that's supposed to be much more seamless. Wow. There's like a Pokemon collection system.
That's all I want, dude. That's all I want is for it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a seamless multiplayer, which is what I was excited too.
Yeah. I want to be able to. My friend sees I'm online, he pops in and then just joins me.
I never do the multiplayer in the Souls games because it's like really clunky and it's not like super like oh, turn this on.
It's not a guarantee.
It's like you
join
gotta have
party.
items.
Yeah, you gotta do this, right?
You gotta go somewhere, put something on the ground. I'm like, nah, I don't. So I just played the Souls games solo, but I am interested to see
hop in, hop out.
Yeah,
but also there's like these Pokemon aspect to it. You collect the monster's souls, and they become like your spirit
tools.
You throw them out like a spirit, and Hideko or whatever the creator is, was because he had an interview about this, and he was saying that these souls are like a facet of your build. So you use them normally. They're like a facet, and you can swap them in and out.
That's dope.
And use different ones. So you're like collecting them like Pokemon. It almost seems like.
Feels a tad like Neo too.
Well, yeah,
because you know how you had your different spirits and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you utilize your spirits for your builds. Yeah, you activated, and they would cause an ability or whatever.
Yeah,
and that was like a level up from Neo.
And you
Neo,
would collect the demon
do
souls.
That,
yeah, I liked that. That was a lot of fun. I loved
I mean those bosses would be dope, and then the fact that you got to use like the abilities or whatever that they had, as well as the spirits that you claimed. So like, Neo, you had two different things that you could get. You could get the boss abilities that you got, with guys. Everything on the map could drop an ability, and you could utilize that ability.
Can drop a soul.
Right.
This seems like this will be similar, honestly.
So,
I don't know how many slots, because I think on Neo you have like 2, I think. Like you use like 2 demon abilities.
Yeah, 4.
But it's all about what they cost, right? So like you can only fit like 2 powerful ones. Like it's about what you can do. It's like 2 powerful ones.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're gonna make it in this one.
I just hope there's no stat requirements, because I mean spells and things that make sense. You need certain.
Yeah.
Oh,
you mean like in Dark Souls where you need like a certain amount of strength to put this spirit on?
I'm hoping that it's a little more open to
with Neo,
accommodate whatever build you want. Like, hey, I have a strength build, but I want to be able to use this particular.
He kind of implied that. You remember in the trailer where he does that slice and then spins back, and we're like, oh, I remember that from Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
That's to a specific weapon in Dark Souls. That was a weapon art.
Right.
In this game, it doesn't matter what weapon you're using. You can put whatever weapon art you want on any weapon you want. It's kind of like what you're implying. So I can have a rapier and do that move.
That's dope.
Like, that's neat, right? It's much more customizable. So this sounds like it's much more RPG, much more customizable.
You just gotta learn some skills.
I'm
sure they have two-handed skills and one-handed skills.
Yeah,
but
you gotta learn.
You could use a flail or a sword or whatever,
And then there's magic, of course. It's just everything wonderful.
I think I'm going with a magic build, man.
You did the magic
I love
on
magic
Demon
builds.
Souls, right? Yeah, I always
Demon
go
Souls
with,
and Dark Souls. I've always gone with a magic build.
Too.
I always go with a sword.
I always go like
man.
a strength, and I'm like a knight.
The magic is just.
I'm a knight too. I always
the magic is just so OP.
It does seem OP though. Any range, I feel like ranged in any Souls game is OP as heck.
And I mean, you still have a sword, so you still get to shish kebab something if you want. If you gotta run up on something or.
I never dabble in the magic, man. I know you do, but I never usually dabble in the magic.
There's so
I stick
much
to my
powerful
straight sword,
stuff.
man.
Yeah.
Slogging through one slice at a time.
Sir Knight, huh?
Sir
Knight, knighting it up.
I was contemplating trying to build like a paladin build, because
I've always contemplated
I just
it.
never done. I was like,
I know. It crosses the mind, right? But this is just so much more comfortable.
Yeah. So I mean, it's big news. The fact that it's in January that it's releasing is great news.
Amazing.
I think it's gonna be cool to see, like, if you play the game, you see little things like, oh my gosh, this is a sequel to Dark Souls, right? And he just gets revealed as you play it.
Yeah, that would be cool. And maybe they bring back some of the older people that you've seen from the previous Dark Souls or something like that, like the Black Maiden or something like that.
Yeah, the Maiden in Black, or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so that stuff would be dope. But for the next quick shot, we have Bethesda. Sorry, but not sorry. They seem to have. Sort of kind of like apologized that they're having exclusives on the Xbox, but yet they don't really care. They're still gonna do it. It's like, I don't know. How do you guys feel about this?
It is what it is. I mean, it's stupid that they even have to make statements like this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they got bought out, guys. You
right.
know what I mean? They got bought out by another company.
They're not a solo entity anymore.
So they're at the mercy of their new, owners. So they're just going to make good games, and that's that. So I wasn't too bothered by it at all. So.
I think that's exactly right. I think it's like, well, we're not sorry because it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, we got to make the games that we're told to make because we're owned by who we're owned by.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is some remorse that their games aren't for everyone anymore.
Yeah, because
who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, because Bungie always wanted you guys could correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but Bungie always wanted Halo on everything.
Yeah.
So that was, when they made Destiny, they made sure it was on everything, And I see it. If I'm making something, I want as many people to experience it as I can. So I think, you're right. From that perspective, they're like, well, I want everyone to play my game because I made it, enjoy it.
Exactly.
But at the same time, they got bought out. So their bosses, their owners, they can only make things for the Xbox now. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and especially since they went, it's like reverse, where Bungie always wanted that dream that their game could be played by anybody, anywhere.
Yeah.
And they achieved it, where Bethesda, that always was their MO. Our games are for anybody, everywhere. And then it went reverse. And so I can see there's some remorse there.
Maybe they dreamt of being exclusive.
Maybe it was reversed for them. But I get why at the same time, it's like, well, but we don't really care. We're making the best game we can make because that's our job.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it was a waste for them to even mention it. Like,
agreed.
So what? People are gonna complain about something. Yeah. You know what I mean? You already knew it was coming.
It is a trip, though. It is a trip. Like, imagine if Naughty Dog's not a good example, but just I say Naughty Dog all of a sudden wasn't available on PlayStation and it was only available on Nintendo. You would feel like you kind of have to apologize. I think you would feel like you kind of have
for an
to
exclusive,
make a little. That's what this is. It's exclusive. Starfield is exclusive.
No, but I'm saying like Naughty Dog stuff. Has Naughty Dog made anything ever for Xbox?
No. I'm just saying. Imagine if something you always had, always available to this fan base, who always enjoyed it, and then all of a sudden they were purchased by Nintendo. I'm just getting hypothetical, and now every game they make is for Nintendo. You would feel, I think you as a developer, would feel like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Like Call of Duty.
You can't play this anymore.
Like what if Call of Duty got bought by,
or if Call of Duty got bought by
freaking
Nintendo
PlayStation
or PlayStation only.
And now the game's not on Xbox.
I think that you as a developer would be like, I'm sorry, right? Yeah. Like it's a big one. It's a big one. Mm-hmm. Like I get what you're saying. Like it's not technically in the sense necessary. It isn't. But because it's so big that I can see them wanting to make a response or a letter.
I would say they should have held this statement for when they announce Elder Scrolls, because let's say the new Elder Scrolls iteration
will probably be exclusive too.
It probably is, but I would say that is worthy of saying like sorry, not sorry. Right. Starfield is a new IP. No one really has attachment to
which
it,
is what we
or a new Fallout or something like that.
Because it's something none of us expected.
Or a new Fallout. When you keep
that would hurt.
Yeah, when you keep expanding on current IPs that were available to everybody and now they're no longer available.
That's heartbreaking.
You almost might have just want. You might almost just want to like say, okay, it's no longer called Fallout, it's called Outfall or something. You try to change the name,
because that just hurts, man.
Just so people is like, hey, this is in the Fallout universe, but it's a different IP. Right. It's something totally new.
Outer Worlds. I'm just like,
or Outer Worlds.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But
it's join forces with Obsidian or something. But so hey,
we don't care. All of us have Xboxes, but I'm just saying, like, there are a lot of people out there that don't, and I would understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, and who knows? It might be like a timed exclusive. It might be something that they release to the wild, like way down the line when they stop doing anything to it.
Pull a Sony 4 years from now. Here's it again for $70 again.
Right, here you go. I mean, it's gonna be available on the PC, right? So there's plenty of people that are gonna be able to play that on PC and then Game Pass.
I bet you Microsoft is for sure thinking that.
Yeah, but I mean, from the news that we got last week about Xbox trying to branch off and put these things in TVs and stuff like that, and having making it way more easier. I feel like if people wanted to get into some of these games, like if Bethesda is doing that much of a pull to get people to come play, their exclusive games, that it would be pretty versatile. It'd be pretty easy. You know what I mean? They might lower the price because you're playing from a strictly TV only, or something like that. As far as instead of a console, maybe it doesn't output the same type of graphics that the console can. So hey, it's like $5 less, for you to pay a month, and then you get access to all of these games that we are able to play on this unit or whatever.
Right.
So I feel like all the hope is not lost, but I mean, if you like video games, you might want to open your window up a little bit more, let some more in.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So. Okay. But on to the next quick shot. It seems like there's this interesting PT theory going on, right? So the playable trailer, that that was released a long time ago, a couple of years, right? Yeah, yeah, mingled up with like Silent Hill theories and who is it? Hideo Kojima, and it's like this long theory. But Ray, you tell me about the theory, man.
Sir Knight.
Yeah, break it down for us. Hideo Kojima, he did Silent Hill, right?
I believe so.
Okay, so
yeah, he might have. He at least had something to do with it.
Okay, so everyone's been waiting for that game. I never really got into. Mark, you played Silent Hill, right?
Yeah, so I've played.
So Mark
some of the
it.
old ones.
So everyone's been waiting for this Silent Hill, especially when he released that little PT demo, right? That was like, Mark always raves about that PT demo. Mark loves that PT demo.
Yeah,
and that's been like a craze. The PT demo, we still talk about it. When was that? Like
2015, I believe.
2014. Like getting close to a decade now, and people are still enamored by it. You say people buy a PS3 just if that demo's on there.
You said for Silent Hill? Oh, the PT? That was 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So PT was a Silent Hill game or successor of some kind, right? Like that was supposed to be
just
Silent
a little
Hill.
demo.
Yeah.
And that little demo sparked the world on fire, and everyone's been thinking about it ever since. And there's this company called Blue Box Games that has this new exclusive for PS5, which is also a PlayStation thing, which is what Silent Hill is all about. And Hideo Kojima works at PlayStation 5, called Abandoned, right? And it has very much a Silent Hill vibe. Yep. And there was one tweet they launched that had an app that you can click on for PS5 that gave you like insight, which is like, this feels like Silent Hill, man, in like so many ways. Mm-hmm. That's really weird. This PS5 only kind of thing. It's horror, like a hill. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then they had this tweet. Your Blue Box Game had this tweet where they said the name of our game actually isn't Abandoned. It starts with an S and ends with an L. And everyone's like, Silent Hill, right? Silent Hill. Like they knew what they were doing, obviously, when they did that, and they came out trying to deny it. Well, the rabbit hole goes even deeper, you know? Like if you look at Blue Box's logo, it's literally like the exact same logo as PlayStation's logo, except it's just inverted colors. So instead of a white box with the PlayStation logo in the center, it's a black with the black PlayStation logo in the center. It's a black box with white text in the center. Instead of a black rim, it's a white outer rim, and it's all in the exact same font in the exact same center of the. It's identical to the PlayStation logo, but just inverted. Right? And so that's like, well, that's bizarre. What is that all about? This sounds made up. And then if you look at the guy who owns Blue Box Game, Hassan Karama, Hassan, if you translate that out to its meaning, is the same exact translation as Hideo, which they both mean hero. Right? So it's like, that's bizarre.
Right?
That is weird.
Is this Hideo Kojima, once again, because he's done this 2 other times, made a fake game developing studio?
Right. He's gotten talks with PlayStation to create 2 fake gaming developers and then have them publish a game. Well, like put like the name of a game title up on their website, right? As if it's coming out for pre-order or something like that.
And so he did this. So this is following the MO. This is a whole new game developer. They, for some reason, they were created like literally the year PT was. Mm-hmm. That's unique, right? What is that all about? If you look up this Hassan guy, his gaming developing history, he has these games on there that are very tiny. There's no depth, no polish. Like they're almost made up. And there's one there that's GoFit XL. The app describes it as a personal training program, and then he puts at the end PT.
Dang.
Right?
PT.
Like he's throwing these hints out there, right? And it's like, well, this is bizarre. And then there was also a sighting of Hideo Kojima playing a game on PlayStation 4 that has never been heard of or released or have no information on, called Demon Blood.
Was that Hideo Kojima or
Hideo Kojima was
Hassan?
playing it. Hassan. Hassan was playing it, which everyone's assuming
like
is
in his list of games that he's played, Demon Blood was one of them,
which no one's ever heard of or seen anything about.
Right.
And
you can't
everyone
even find
assuming
that in the store.
Hassan is Hideo. And it has the Siren Head on it, and the Siren Head is one of the artists was like one of the artists from Silent Hill. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, there's another hint, right? And then if you keep going on, there's even more, right? Like this studio company, Blue Box Games, is centered in the Netherlands, supposedly. It's a Netherlands-developed game studio.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever they release a tweet, it's always late at night in the Netherlands, but like 10 a.m. in Japan. Which, like, this sounds like someone on the workday is in Japan sending a tweet out.
Right.
That's bizarre. Why would you release a tweet when no one's awake?
Yeah.
To your
Did you already
country?
mention the tree and abandoned?
No, I haven't got there yet.
Okay.
But the next thing why this is more recently be set ablaze is because if you watch the Death Stranding director's cut, when he's getting into the box, if you look closely when he gets into the box, you know Death Stranding is set in America. It's an American actor. It's an American setting. On the back, on his backpack, he has a little Netherlands flag. Our main character, right?
Yeah.
A little Netherlands flag.
And
also hinting Blue Box is in Netherlands, right?
could you see it when he was sitting in the box?
I think
Like when
you
he laid in the
can.
box and was
it's mainly
crouched
when
down?
he's pulling the box off the shelving. So if you go back
okay.
and watch the director's cut trailer,
Alright.
when he was pulling the box, it's a little flag right above the United States of America portrait of the landscape map of America. Right above it, there's a little Netherlands flag there. It's right there for everyone to see. I can see it right now. And then one of the last things was they released this trailer for Abandoned. And there's these trees, and there's some rocks in the background. There's some writing on the rocks. It's supposed to be eerie, right?
Right.
And as these trees are kind of panning over, they cover the letters P and T in those words. All these hints.
Well, they cover everything except for P&T, right?
No, P and T get covered,
Okay, all right.
right? Trying to point out P and T.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's
is
a
pointed
huge
out P.
conspiracy.
It's a
list
huge
going on here.
conspiracy because none of this can be confirmed.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot of circumstantial evidence to imply this is Hideo Kojima's next game.
Yeah, man.
And we're supposed to learn something this coming week. So hopefully we can follow up on this story next week and see if there's any truth to it.
Yeah, it's funny because it just sounds like it's totally their MO. You know, if they've created two
totally is.
faux developers just to bring out a game, you know, in as much secrecy as possible. Like this, everything is just pointing to signs that this is something, or at least Hideo Kojima's doing something, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Exactly.
What if they just put out like a new PT? Like a
Just
new
a
PT
new
demo
demo.
is out there available.
PS5
That would be
enhanced.
heartbreaking, dude.
PS5 enhanced
That would
PT
be
demo.
heartbreaking. PS5
You like,
enhanced.
yeah.
PS5
Ray tracing.
enhanced, dude.
PT with ray tracing.
Oh, shit.
It's so funny.
Dude.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, when Sir Knight sent us this article, my head was just kind of spinning. I just couldn't get over the fact that PT may not be dead because of all these hints. So
Yeah.
the PT trailer, playable trailer or whatever it's called, it was just so awesome to play, and I always wish that game came to be. So I'm hoping that this is not false. I'm hoping all these little Easter eggs and things are intentional, and I really hope that we do get a PT game. So.
Yeah, we're waiting on so much stuff, man. I mean, we're still waiting to hear about that damn. Well, I might get into it later. All right, so that's it for that quick shot. For the next one, the last one we have is Gearbox, right? So they had their presentation for E3, and yeah. So let's move on to the main note. So
Let's get off that.
yeah, Gearbox it didn't really have much going on for it. I mean, they showed us Tiny Tina, which was some shit we'd already seen before. It was the exact same trailer we'd already seen, same info. They showed us a couple of other games. What was it? Homeworld 3?
Yeah, they
showed
referring back to Homeworld 3. They do this little glibbit of a guy.
Yeah.
We are finally producing Homeworld 3, and then they would cut away from it. Like one sentence, and they would cut away from it, and they go back to him talking to the cast and directors of Borderlands. Yeah. And then he might, keep talking about how excited they are for Borderlands and more Borderlands movie.
Yeah.
And then they would show them a little clip of Homeworld 3. This is the greatest, RTS ever made. Homeworld 3 in production. And they
Is
would clip it away.
RTS Return to Sender?
No, it's real-time strategy.
Okay.
like a StarCraft game.
Okay. All right, I got you.
But that was largely all it was, and then a rehash of trailers we've seen already that were all shown in the Games Fest.
And then they showed us that they were going to be putting Godfall on the PS4.
Big deal, dude. Big
Surprise,
effing
I didn't even
deal.
want to play that shit on the PS5.
I know you have a
So-
PS5 to play it on. You don't want to play it.
Oh yeah,
Like that game is very mediocre. Because
Yeah.
I played it. That was my first game I played on my
Right,
PS5, and
right.
it was very mediocre.
Yeah.
It wasn't horrendous, but it was very mediocre.
That was one of the ones you were looking forward to playing.
Yeah,
too.
I was looking forward to playing
Yeah.
that. It just, if the controls weren't good enough, if the controls were a little more tight and enjoyable, I probably would have had a lot more fun with that game.
Yeah, I feel like we probably would have enjoyed it and maybe recommended it to you guys if it was given to us for free. But because it wasn't, we had actual real opinions, and therefore,
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
So that's
but-
that's them clearly trying to recoup some losses.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
me, I told you guys before I wanted to hear more about that Marvel XCOM.
I know we didn't hear.
What
yeah,
that.
happened?
we did
I
not
know.
get
The
it.
Tiny Tina was good, but like we already seen it. That game looks very promising.
Absolutely.
But like I said, we saw it the last week.
Absolutely.
So
It's essentially like playing like Dungeons and Dragons, right? But on the console.
I mean,
No,
they
it's-
made some hints to it, like the roll for initiative. So maybe there's going to be some D&D aspects to it. But for
Uh-huh.
me, it's just like it's a fantasy Borderlands, because there's
yeah,
guns.
it's a live action. I don't think it's gonna be like pause and roll. It's gonna
Yeah.
be
Well, I didn't think it would be like like actual board game, but I feel like it would be like making all kinds of like things would be happening as if you're rolling the dice or something like that.
maybe. I don't know how they
But I
incorporate
don't
it,
know.
but I
Yeah.
looked at it as like a Borderlands Skyrim or Borderlands Fallout.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
Absolutely.
said that like that Tiny Tina was gonna be like I forgot, they said like DM or
She's like
GM
the
or something like
protagonist.
that.
She's not like a playable character. She's like, which is like what we assumed when we were first talking about it. How
Yeah,
we didn't
we
think she'd
didn't
be
know.
a character.
Yeah.
She'd be like a handsome Jack, kind of like the person behind
Yeah,
the scenes,
exactly.
pushing
Right.
the narrative forward, but not necessarily someone you play, and that's what she is.
Yeah, it almost sounded as if it was going to be an aspect like how Immortal was. You know how the guy narrates the
Yeah,
situation, and then
yeah.
he decides, and something pops up, and then and shit pops up. So it seemed as if like
Yeah.
you'd be playing in this Dungeons and Dragons type of a game or whatever, and the dungeon master is making all this stuff happen. Like as
Oh,
if you'd be
maybe.
like,
That's a
I'm gonna
good
move like
guess.
4 steps. I rolled this dice and then I got a
think
hit
it's gonna
or
be
something.
live though. I think it's gonna be free roam.
Right. I don't think that are like rolling the
Or
dice
waiting to
aspect,
move
but
4
there's going to
steps.
be a dungeon master talking like,
it's Tiny Tina,
as if, as we imagine playing Dungeons and Dragons, you walk down a
I see.
corridor, 3 monsters pop up. Tiny Tina is saying that as you're doing that,
I
or
see.
whatever. But I don't know. That's what I kind of saw
I
that
see.
it looked like it was going the
Okay.
way they were explaining
I
it.
see.
But
That'd be interesting. As long
I'm
as
not
she's
sure.
not
I wanna
talking
see more,
throughout
though.
the whole entire freaking game, just like at certain moments would be cool.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
anytime that shit's about to happen, I
Yeah.
think she would be talking.
Yeah.
But I don't
But
know.
that was pretty much it, man. That's about
Yeah.
all Gearbox offered.
pretty
Yeah,
lackluster,
to
pretty
be
piss
honest.
poor, man. I was hoping
Really
for something
pathetic.
a little bit more. You know what I mean? I was hoping to
Absolutely.
get something.
I know you wanted
something
to watch
new.
that live with all of us.
Yeah,
Well,
we were
because
trying to do a
were
live
expecting-
reaction to that.
I
but-
was expecting them to expand on what they showed at the Game Fest from Tiny Tina. I thought we were going to get like some gameplay,
yeah,
some
like
real
a full,
expansion.
like a cool 30, 40 minutes of like,
Yeah.
talking about it and maybe like 10 of gameplay or something.
not just the same identical trailer that we just saw. I don't know.
And then telling us about the Borderlands movie.
Yeah. But
It was just a
Yeah.
trailer for Borderlands movie.
Yeah.
But to me, on a high point, the tribes of Midgard, that came out of nowhere.
That was at Summer Game Fest too, though.
Oh, that's
They
right,
showed
that's
that
right,
at the end of
that's
Summer
right.
Game Fest as
You're
well.
right.
But Tribe of Midgard does look fun.
Yeah, it's
I
10
think.
player co-op, which that's
Yeah.
awesome. It's like, we're going to get Diablo 2 later on in the year. That's 8 players. So I'm like, that's cool. ARPGs when there's more than like 4 players,
Yeah.
it makes it way more intense and fun.
Yeah.
So this game looks promising to
It
me.
does.
And
does.
it's something I didn't envision them releasing something like this.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I think that's probably their best game that they've shown, other than Tiny Tina.
Yeah. So that's it for the quick shots. So let's get on to some of the main topics. So the first one we want to start with is Ubisoft. They had their E3 press release or whatever, all the announcements that they
E3
made.
Ubisoft Forward, they call it, right?
Yeah, the Ubisoft Forward. So do you guys have the list of the games that they announced
Yeah,
on
well,
Ubisoft?
I mean, I guess how did you feel about their show? I wasn't too impressed, man.
Yeah,
I thought it was lacking a lot of fun, interesting titles for.
I agree. I feel like we all, we're hyped to see Far Cry.
Yeah.
We've seen a little bit of Far Cry, a Was it a week ago or two?
A day before, 2
day
days
before.
before,
It was the
something
Game
like that.
Fest, right?
I feel like they showed it
So
at
we
the
saw-
Xbox thing too.
Yeah.
So we already had a snippet of that. I feel like maybe they should have held that for this. It would have made this a little more grand. But other than Far Cry, nothing really blew my mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, Far Cry and then kind of Avatar.
Oh,
kind
that's
of.
right. I forgot about Avatar.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, if we're talking about all of the
but you
games
see how
that they
forgettable
had.
it was, right?
Yeah.
You even forgot about it.
The thing that I didn't like about Avatar is we didn't really see any real gameplay, and we're
No.
left with a lot of
Yeah,
questions.
Absolutely.
And I totally forgot about Avatar's IP in general. I mean, this was popular in 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
And this was a very surprise that they brought this back. But I always thought that Avatar would make a good video game. You know, the world is awesome.
It's a beautiful world
So
to
they
explore.
like,
yeah.
It almost seems like it'd be like an MMO or something like that, right?
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah, I agree.
An
Marcus.
MMO.
Yeah, I
As
agree,
opposed to
Marcus.
like a story.
I'd actually think that'd be
game, but
better
I don't know.
as an MMO. That
A
game.
more living world.
It'd probably have longer longevity or whatever. You
Yeah.
know, more life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If it was an
Yeah.
MMO, but I don't know.
Yeah, but
I didn't
mean,
even know Ubisoft would have anything to do with Avatar.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
I don't know
I never saw this coming.
how the
any
IP was
direction,
addressed
yeah.
or
You know.
whatever. But
Weren't we? Wasn't it Ubisoft who just recently said they were going to start making a game with Star Wars, a Star Wars game? I'm almost positive they said they were, and we kept talking about, oh, cool, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah, Star Wars open world.
Yeah, but
right?
you got
That's right.
nothing about that.
Nothing.
That would have been awesome.
Just
that
none of
would've
these things we've been like really hoping to hear. We
Riders
got zero.
Republic, we already knew about that.
For the last 3 years, it's been like Riders
That keeps getting
Republic,
pushed
dude.
back,
Yeah,
too.
it's like what
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
heck?
just-
Yeah, what
Dance.
happened with Riders
who
Republic?
cares
Because
about
wasn't
Just
Riders
Dance?
Republic supposed to be like a day
It's
one
supposed to
type
come
of
out
game?
like
Like quarter
last
one
year,
or
I
something?
think.
last
When,
year
when
around
the
June.
system released?
Like last year around June, I thought. But it kept getting pushed back for
I don't know.
reason.
This was pretty lame. I mean, Rainbow Six Extraction.
I feel like
Is
that was the
this-
bigger one.
Is this like supposed to be like a successor or a spin-off of Rainbow Six Siege?
I don't know.
What do you
I never
No,
really
thi-
played any
this-
Rainbow
okay.
Sixes.
So Rainbow Six Siege is more of like a PvP, you know,
Right.
like we're playing versus each other. Extraction is more of like a PvE. We're
like a Left 4 Dead, right? Back
yes,
4
like
Blood.
you're going through levels. You're just fighting the AI. You're not fighting other players, and you're going through stories and levels, and it's progressing, and it's kind of like on rails. And you make your way to the end. You kill the boss or whatever. So that's how this game is.
Is it just me, or did it look though like graphically the identical pound for pound engine of Rainbow Six Siege? In
Yep.
my opinion,
Look
like
the same models,
no
same
improvements,
guns.
no advancement at all from that old game. And Siege is like really old, right? Like
Yeah, it's like 6 years old.
Yeah, like
5,
six-
6.
I mean,
it's old.
hell, they still announced some shit
But
for
at
Rainbow
I
Six
know,
Siege.
but I'm just saying that
Yeah.
engine is so old.
Yeah, but at
Yeah.
least though that I think they've been putting a lot of improvements to that core game. I think it already got the next gen like straight out of the gates. So they are on top of making strides with that engine in their defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just thought it wasn't impressive.
I see.
Like I get
It didn't blow your mind.
Yeah,
It
it was
was just,
fun. It was fun. Aliens is fun to shoot aliens. Which that's always fun. To shoot aliens. But it didn't. It looked low gen. It looked very last gen.
Yeah.
Not just last gen, but like very last gen.
Yeah.
Because Rainbow Six Siege is more so the beginning of that generation, not like the end of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just was not really impressed with how it
Yeah.
looked.
When I saw this game,
Underwhelming in a sense.
I thought it free to play.
Yeah.
I don't see people spending
Yeah.
$70 on this. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
On Extraction?
On Extraction. I feel like this game would be successful. You're buying skins, you're buying whatever, new classes, new guns. Because we have a Left 4 Dead game in the works, the Back 4 Blood. So I feel like they're a little foolish competing with Left 4 Dead if they're releasing like a similar game type in the same year. So I'm curious what their recipe.
It doesn't look as good as Back 4 Blood.
No, it doesn't.
Right? Like
It doesn't look
Extraction
as-
doesn't look as good as
Nope.
that. Extraction looks more present gen than that does,
Yeah.
and it even looks more fun. I don't know. It just it doesn't look like a bad game.
No.
I wasn't like impressed enough to be like, now that's a one I
Yeah.
can't wait for.
What they should have done is Siege, right? Just like Call of Duty, how with their menu, like everyone who has Siege, there's another tab in the Siege game. Now we could play Extraction. We could.
That's
use
how I
our-
thought it was.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound
Like
like
an
that's what it is.
add-on.
But that's how I thought it was,
Exactly.
like an addition, like exactly like
Yeah.
Warzone is to Call of Duty.
Exactly.
Where like you have additional ways to play Siege. That's how I interpreted this.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at this and like the recap, it doesn't seem like that's
Yeah.
it. This is its own like a Ubisoft original game.
Yeah.
I think it needed some more gameplay. to give us
absolutely.
a better idea of what it was working with.
Yeah, I mean they show good.
The little video was cool and all, but you know, I wanted to see like
I think the video was though
mission.
entirely gameplay.
You think
it
so?
wasn't just like trailers and like cutscenes. I think they were showing us like some gameplay. Right. I think what they were showing was, but it didn't feel. Something was missing.
Yeah.
Some features or something they could have shown that made it seem more exciting was missing.
Right.
And it just was, in my opinion, a letdown.
I mean they gave us Rocksmith Plus though, right?
You're right.
I mean, that's a big one.
Absolutely.
I mean, everybody's got to want to learn how to play guitar, right?
So I honestly was excited for one thing. I just wanted Rocksmith Plus is that you can play it on your phone.
Yeah.
And I feel like something like that, you have a guitar. Why are you on a console sometimes? You
know,
you just want to maybe do it on the go in your room. I don't know.
No, the direction they're taking it, seems like it's better. I agree.
And
it has just no appeal, I think, to many gamers. No. This doesn't seem like a gamer.
It was always a niche thing, and they've just made it even more in that
direction.
direction.
It's perfect for the phone now. I feel like it should have been for the phone.
Yeah, I think it's just the wrong audience. That's all I'm saying. Like, I think there's if you want to learn to play an instrument, this is probably the funnest and best way to do it. But I just think it's just the wrong audience, man. Like they're just missing the point here of E3, in my opinion.
Yeah. Right, and then they had a couple of quick ones, just like some more Valhalla DLC, which is cool because it's been a while since I played Valhalla, so when I go back into it, I'll have a lot of stuff to do on there, so that's cool. And then of course they gave us a new Just Dance. They added
Just Dance 2020.
Yeah, Just Dance 2022. So they gave us maybe like 12 more new tracks or something like that. Some up-to-date music and a whole bunch of other shit you gotta buy.
Yeah. So we get the latest Justin Bieber?
Yep, you might get Peaches in Georgia or something or Yummy or something like that. But you gotta, you probably gotta pay for some of the good ones or whatever,
Yeah, once again, right, Just Dance doesn't have much. There's an audience. I'm not saying there isn't, but I just think that it's kind of the wrong audience. Again, they're missing the mark here.
Right.
You're not making your fans happy, the people who are tuning in to watch this. Yeah. Like Rocket Marker said, you had DLC Rainbow Six Siege, you had DLC Valhalla. Yeah. You have, basically, it's kind of like DLC Rock Band. It's kind of like DLC. It's not like a whole new... just another way of doing it.
Yeah.
And then they add songs for Just Dance. It's very little, like nothing. A bunch of little nothings.
A whole lot of nothing.
A whole lot of nothings.
It definitely wasn't anything where it was like some oohs and ahs dropped or whatever.
No, there were no oohs and ahs.
I feel like as much as some of these other press conferences showed Far Cry 6 should have just been left for this by itself.
Yeah. I agree because it feels like the same thing again.
Yeah.
Okay, we saw a clip earlier. Yeah. Here's another little clip. Okay.
If I'm having my own forward, I would not let anybody else showcase my game.
No. Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Which is why we think Gearbox messed up, right? Because Gearbox did the same thing. At least Ubi showed us a different part of the game, though. A different scene, where Gearbox just showed us the exact same thing. They gave us at least another scene, which I'll watch this scene, but I agree. You should save your if you're just gonna show scenes, save it all for the show.
Yeah, I'm not spreading my bread out. You know what I mean? I'm keeping it all in the same basket.
What'd you think about this? The villains play as the villains DLC.
So
I don't know
I thought that was interesting. Cool. The fact that you get to see the world from Pagan's eyes and the other dudes. All of the bosses. My wife was
actually watching that with me because we were eating lunch and I had put on the Ubisoft forward, and so she sat down, and she was totally grossed out by it.
Was she?
She's like, "Wow, that's some sadistic, gross." She was not into it, and I was like, I can kind of see that. For us, it's different because we know these characters, and it would be cool to dive deeper into them in a sense.
Yeah, you get to see like how they were
pretty darn
sadistic
things. From like an outsider looking in, because it's like trippy. Yeah, it's like all violent. And like there was nothing like, into her redeeming at all about it. For us, it's a little different. Where like Far Cry isn't all that. It's not all trippy. It's not all violent. You're like, you have people, you have relationships, you have exploration, you have more than just those creepy, gross things. Where this seemed like it was just all that, which makes sense because they're villains.
Yeah. So the guy with the glasses, the guy with the glasses, he's the villain from 5.
Yeah.
Okay,
which is why I keep telling you.
He looked pretty badass, man.
Dude, he's a good villain.
Pretty cool.
Like he looked like he would take out a couple of outposts by himself.
So what are they calling this? They're calling this Far Cry 3.
Yeah, it was something.
That was weird.
It was a weird
Far
name.
Cry 3. It's like some neon.
Yeah, like
Dragon's Blood or something.
Something
are you talking about? But that's been out though.
Yeah, but
they showed that with it.
on this trailer, which was I didn't get it
because that ended up being ended up being a DLC that was like a standalone or something like that.
So I'm thinking this is gonna be a standalone too.
Reign of Terror across Far Cry 3, 4, and 5. I don't know, man. This is so weird. I don't really know what this is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's the first villain's name? Voss, right?
Voss.
Yeah, that was the only one I recognized. So I was like, huh.
Voss, Pagan Min, and then Joseph Seed. Yeah. And he's from the fifth one. He was a good villain. And you have his brother and sister, in there, the Seed family.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's really good. And then they ended it with their coup de grace in there. There's 2 coup de grace they had. Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope,
which we'd already seen in Nintendo,
which we already knew that was coming. That was released, and I think in the Game Fest as well.
That was a Game Fest as well.
I totally agree with Marcus, man. If that's like one of your coup de grace, you save that for your show, dude.
Yeah, dude. I'll be damned if I let you show all of my trailers and shit.
Because face it,
bro, you better come up with some new stuff to show at yours, because you're not showing my game.
I know
my shit is coming out for your system, but it's coming out for a lot of shit, and you're not about to waste all my game footage on that.
Man. Here, you can have Just Dance. Here,
show Just
reveal
Xbox.
Rock Band, dude. I mean, don't reveal our big ones that haven't been revealed yet.
It was Blood Dragon. That's what it was. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
Yeah.
That was that neon joint.
Yeah. So other than Avatar, there wasn't really.
And
much.
then Avatar, they ended it. They thought, look at Avatar.
Yeah.
But I wasn't super pumped about it at all because they didn't show me anything.
They didn't show gameplay. It was like, what are we seeing?
I didn't see anything, dude.
It was cool when
they
were flying and she did the bow and arrow.
Okay, maybe we can fly. I thought maybe
if there's flying,
that's cool. I want to fly.
It was cool seeing some of the bugs and the creatures that had the same type of fin wing thingies.
Yeah,
you'll
explore the world, kill bugs, kill creatures, shoot us.
Yeah,
which is funny to me. But I wanted to see more. I wanted to get more of an idea. Is this going to be what kind of vein is this? Assassin's Creed? What kind of vein are we going in here?
Yeah.
What direction is this?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a grade just because I want to. I would say this was like a D+. So
Gearbox was an F.
Gearbox
F
was
plus?
an F.
No F.
Gearbox was an F.
Give him an F.
Just an F.
Just if they would have held Tiny Tina and
this
would have been a reveal,
a D, easily D. Maybe
it would have been
C.
a D,
or
C. But because it was literally nothing new.
It's an F. They failed.
This is
a D+ because they gave us something new at least that they had not revealed.
That's something new.
Everything else was pretty whack.
And they did have a good quantity of stuff, even though a lot of it was
I just remember watching the
show
and not liking anything.
Is it getting a D+ because you didn't like that they showed Avatar, like because you don't care about Avatar, or because they didn't show enough of Avatar?
I'd say to me it got a D+ because it actually showed Avatar. That was something new. Some Far Cry, but we already seen it. But so I'd say Far Cry 6 and Avatar is the only reason why this should have got an F in my opinion, but it got a D+.
No,
so
think
if
about
they have
the conference
showed more,
as a whole. Had Avatar not been in the conference, it would have been another Gearbox. Everything that we saw had already been shown, except for Extraction. That would have been it. That would have been a really bad conference, a failure.
Right.
But because they gave us something new and unique.
One thing.
Yeah, which could be good and promising, even though I'm disappointed because I didn't see how promising it could be.
Right.
But because it could be good and promising and it's new and it was revealed at their conference, I give them a D+.
So Grayscale, they came in with an F. And then because they showed us something new, they got bumped up one letter grade to a D.
No, barely.
So they would have needed what? What would they have needed to get to at least a C or a B?
Well, I think if they would have showed us
Far Cry 6?
Well, hold off all Far Cry 6 information. Hold off all of Rabbids information. Show us Star Wars. Show us Avatar. Maybe some gameplay on Avatar. Get us super excited about
some
it.
Gameplay.
Cut out Rock Band. Cut out, DLC.
Yeah.
I mean, or make it much smaller, right? And then now I'm really pumped about this show. I'm excited.
I think if they had given us the rabbits, the Mario and Rabbids or something like that, or maybe not even Mario and Rabbids, if they just given us all of that stuff that they gave us for Far Cry 6 the day before, if they had given us all of that, and then they gave us some gameplay on Avatar, I think that would have probably at least bumped them up to like a B, maybe C+.
If they held everything a C. I moved them to a C because
we would have seen a lot of info on Far Cry 6.
But for it to be like a B or an A level conference, it needs
had
to have
show a couple of games
cool new stuff.
Yeah. Right.
In my opinion, what Square Enix did.
And Gearbox ain't show us shit new, so they get Fs across the board. You don't even want to give them a letter grade up because they showed us the set of Borderlands movie. Man.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't get no extra credit.
Movies are cool, but come on.
All right.
That's a punchline to a joke.
Yeah. So
right? Like, don't pull a Gearbox. Like, it's a punchline to a joke, man. It was that bad.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Well, let's move on to something that didn't do as bad, right?
Right.
Let's go to Square Enix.
All right.
So they showcased sort of like a few things, quite a few little things that they put on there.
I really loved. What did you think about the show in general? Like, it might have been my favorite show. I don't think it was necessarily the best show in as far as production and quality, but just for my taste and my liking, I think for me it was my favorite of all the shows that I watched and the things they revealed.
Well, I feel like what they revealed was all like new stuff that I hadn't really.
Well, and also I was excited about it.
I was looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was excited about the stuff they revealed too.
Yeah,
Not only was it new, but it was like exciting for me as a gamer, what I'm into.
Right. I mean, I didn't know that they were coming out with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, none
That
of us
came out
did.
So I thought that was
awesome.
dope, and then I thought that what they had showed us was pretty fire, and then they showed us like gameplay.
They gave us
and
a
shit.
lot,
and I was like, damn,
this is
okay,
what
this
I
is
think
like
Avatar would have been. See, this is for me like this is how you do it right.
right.
Not only did they reveal it and give us like, but dude, they even after they revealed it and like showed us the trailer and the gameplay, they gave us like a section of gameplay to show us how the talking works. That helped me immensely because when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, I'm not really feeling how this dynamic is working and how the comedy is working. But then when you saw them talking and like the bantering and how I'm supposed to be the leader and how you kind of are and like how they incorporate it in there, how you're making decisions and dude, that was really cool. And those are like right off the bat tough decisions. Even those decisions were like when two people are just arguing and you have to pick one. Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, man. That's hard.
Yeah, for sure. And it just gave me like this Mass Effect feel, but like on a more fun level or something like that. Like it just seemed like it'd be a really fun way to play Mass Effect.
The only thing I would say to that is in Mass Effect you can switch between the characters and play them.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like you can do that on this one. You're stuck with Star-Lord only and only him.
That kind of sucks.
And I was a little disappointed in that.
Yeah, it does suck that you can't play like Gamora and stuff. Right. But I mean, they were literally using it on like some Tales of Symphonia type shit where you just like direct them to do a move.
Yeah.
Right. And then they do that move.
Absolutely. So, I just thought it was a little bit because you mentioned the Mass Effect. I thought that was a great comparison actually when you mentioned that.
Yeah.
But I just was like, this is a little weird how they're locking you into just him for like a Marvel type movie, where normally all the characters are kind of equally. Yeah. If you think about Guardians of the Galaxy, they're all kind of equally our hero. Yeah. I don't think it was ever focused on just Star-Lord. I think he was kind of maybe just a tinge more of a focal point.
He was
in the
more
story.
Priority a little bit.
But I think they're all pretty much they're kind of all heroes.
It's like the Avengers.
Right.
Imagine like the Avengers game, but you can only play one Avenger. That would kind of
be like, weird, right? And I think that's what was throwing me for a loop.
Yeah.
And also, I felt like his wasn't doing a lot of damage. It was like when you were directing Gamora. Yeah. Then it's like, whoa, she chonked that thing down, or Jax, chonk that guy down, and I'm just like peace shooting him, and it's like that was just like if you watch the health bar, it was like barely moving.
Yeah, it seemed like he was doing pretty good damage, punching him in the face with his guns.
He was doing more when he was jumping, doing his physical attacks, but his guns didn't seem themselves to be doing.
Yeah, and maybe they increase, or maybe you get better guns or something like that.
I'm sure they're still balancing it.
I'm hoping that there's a lot of RPG.
They're probably still balancing the fights, how long they should be, how hard they should be, how long they should take, what damage you do.
But yeah, I thought this game was awesome. This was a pleasant surprise because I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I like the soundtrack. Like this is just, to me, one of my favorite Marvel movies. And I just hope. Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but was the last Avengers game? It was published by Square Enix, right?
Yep.
So I hope they took notes on that dumpster fire.
That failure.
And they don't give no DLCs. I don't want nothing. I want to buy the game and I want to get everything. And I don't want to have to buy anything unless it's like an expansion. You know what I mean?
Didn't it seem like this was a little bit choppy? Like the frames were a little choppy when you were watching the trailer? Like it needed 60 frames per second badly.
It didn't seem like it was super fluid. It seemed like this could have been last gen or something.
Yeah, it didn't seem very fluid to me. But it was really well written. I really liked the decisions. Yeah. I thought Jax was a little lacking. I think Batista or whatever did a way better job, dude.
I kind of didn't like the way the character looked. I didn't like the way
he wasn't as like
his face was narrow and scrawny.
Yeah, I didn't really like the way they drew or they created Jax or Dax or whatever, the big guy, and Gamora. I thought that
I
they
agree.
could have done better on
I
those
agree.
two
They did a great job
characters.
on Groot
and
Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
And
then I thought Peter Quill was cool.
Was okay. Yeah.
I mean, they don't need to look like the Marvel characters. It would have been cool if they did, but
because who knows? Because they can't pay the likeness of the actor now, right? But
I guess you'd have to.
But like Jax, I thought they were kind of missing the tone that he created in the shows with the ignorance tone.
Right.
Like, remember that part when he tells Gamora, it's not in your contract to kill someone. You can't kill him. She's like, what do you mean? It's not in your contract. And he said, like, she said, I didn't sign that or whatever. And then he made a comment too, like, I think it would have been funnier if he had, like, like how he was, what do you mean? I contracted nothing in this fight. Like, he contracted something. Yeah. Like, he didn't know what the word contract meant. Because that's how it kind of was in the show.
Yeah.
He was kind of missing that really funny aspect of his character, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. The dumbness.
Just
like
the ignorant.
not
he doesn't really know what anyone's talking about.
Yeah. Right.
What do you mean over my head? Nothing flies over my head, right? Just like missing the point every time.
Right.
He was kind of missing that as his character a bit. Where I think the other ones were Rocket Raccoon. I felt like Rocket Raccoon. Groot.
I felt like Groot
really funny.
Seemed like Groot. Yeah.
I love Groot.
Groot. When he's trying to be scary.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny, man. Like that was great. It was just Drax. I think was the only one.
I liked some of the interaction, like when they were sitting there at the canyon, and they were trying to debate on whether they should throw Rocket across or not.
Yeah.
And then Peter's like, yeah, do it, man. Throw him across. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He threw him and he hits and he's like, shit.
Agree,
but
man.
it's like, oh, Rocket will remember this. Like,
right.
That's that dope
Mass
stuff.
Effect
That's the
part,
Mass Effect
right?
stuff.
About,
Yeah, so I was just like,
It's
damn,
cool.
okay.
This is
I
really
wonder
cool.
how that will affect
Yeah.
your relationship with Rocket.
Totally.
Further down the line as you're playing,
And do I really have to
will
give
he
him
not
an additional
volunteer
10% cut now of whatever we're collecting, right? Of whatever currency is in the game,
right?
Yeah,
so that would be interesting.
That was fun, but now it's going to cost me. How much is it worth? Right?
Yeah,
that little fun
I could have
sequence.
just taken a long route,
right?
Around or whatever. But
That's
so
a good one,
I think that there's some promising stuff, hopefully from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
And we're supposed to get it this year, right?
Oh, was there a release date? Yeah, October 26, 2021. That's soon.
Dope. That's right around the corner.
How did they keep the lid on this for so long?
I don't
dude?
even know, man.
Wow, because this came out of left field.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. They also showed another DLC for the Wakanda Forever, I think, pack
Marvel
for
Avengers.
Marvel's Avengers, which I'm pretty sure was released like 6-7 months ago.
I was gonna say we heard
announced.
You told us about this months ago.
Yeah, like how long are they gonna
I think
take
Black
to put this shit
Panther
out?
was released, but I think the expansion War for Wakanda.
Oh,
is
the
a
character's
new-
been out.
a
Seems like
new
you would put those
storyline.
out
Right.
coincidentally, but
Right. But what was cool, I will give them this: the War for Wakanda expansion is free.
yeah,
Nice.
Costs
That
you
is-
nothing.
that's pretty cool.
And it seemed like it was a whole new storyline.
That's cool.
Which fine.
Starting to wise up.
It doesn't make me want to play
Nah.
because I feel like every character is going to be the same. But they
Every
definitely
character
are
is the
trying
same.
there. They're trying.
I don't
right?
know what character model they used to create him, but
It's gonna be
they're all
like
gonna fight the
Black
same
Widow
type
or
of way.
something, right?
Template A or
Yeah.
template B?
Yeah,
Probably-
template A or template
You might be
B.
right,
Yeah,
Black
just
Widow,
Yeah,
but with
some
being able to scratch
some
or some
physical
shit.
combat
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, for sure. They also showed Babylon's Fall, but that was more of like a trailer.
I liked this one, dude.
You liked Babylon's
This
Fall?
looked dope.
It kind of I didn't really see too much
Yeah,
off of the
I
thing
didn't
that
see
we watched. It,
any-
didn't,
I disagree,
it
man.
just looked like a straight, little clip.
Yeah.
But
You're
what'd
probably
you
gonna-
get
you're
from
probably
it?
gonna
Dude, they
disagree
showed a
with me.
whole entire trailer
Yeah.
and they had the commentators talking about all aspects of it too. They gave a big chunk.
You're probably
going
gonna
to
disagree
Okay,
with
so
me,
the
but
second
I thought
show?
it looked generic.
Dude, I thought the music sounded just like Dark Souls. I thought the artwork, like the environments, looked just like Dark Souls 2. They didn't show us a lot of combat, but what combat they did show looked really fun. Yes, it did look a little bit last gen as far as like the shading of like the lighting and stuff.
Yeah.
In the pictures, I agree. But if you listen to like the music and if you look at the artistry of like the places they're in, I thought they were doing a great job of trying to emulate, in my opinion, Dark Souls as a 4-player co-op game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This looked really, I was
Yeah.
really actually excited for this
Yeah,
one.
to
I'm
me-
definitely gonna need
yeah.
to see some more of that one.
Yeah, to me it looked a little last gen and it looked a little generic. I feel like its identity was kind of questionable in my opinion. It looked like other games. It didn't. I don't know. It looked.
I
a
don't know.
little
Watch
generic.
it again, man.
The
Give it
only
another shot.
only thing I liked about it was the 4-player aspect. The
It looked
multiplayer
really
aspect.
fun, honestly.
It's like a nice dungeon crawl. Always loved dungeon crawl. So it does have my interest for the multiplayer aspect, but I feel like the world was a little lacking in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll just say maybe try to give them a shot. To look at it again, because at first I didn't know what this game was, and at first I thought it might have been generic. But the more and more it kept going, the more and more I was impressed by it.
I see.
The more and more it grew on me, and the more and more I got much more excited about it. And the more they were telling me about like the abilities and the skills and the fighting and the combat, just got me like, wow, this actually might be a sleeper in my book. So I was actually pretty excited about Babylon's Fall.
Interesting,
because it's made by Platinum Games. I'm not super familiar with that company, but they made I think.
Oh, and this is a live service as a game as a service too. So this game is going to be having more content come and released over time. So I don't know. This just seemed like the Destiny version of Dark Souls to me.
Yeah.
So I was really excited.
I would say the thing I like about it is that the developer of it made the Nier Automata as well as the Bayonetta
exactly.
games. And those I haven't played those, but those have very high reviews, and
they're all 9 Game of the Year level games.
Well, Nier Automata was supposed to be like a Souls-like.
If you look at Nier, it's really a lot different. It's Souls in the fact that it's hard, but the gameplay is like a lot different. Did you ever play it?
No, I watched some stuff. I played
really
Code
cool.
Vein.
Cool.
I felt like Code Vein was like
Nier Automata is completely different. But if you go and you watch like Nier Automata in the trailer, it's got that cloudy last gen looking graphics.
Yeah.
Right? This looks the same way. So that looks generic too. Like, don't you think Nier Automata looks generic?
Agreed.
But it's a lot of fun. And if you look at, like it says here, this is supposed to be a high fantasy. And like if you look at like the armor, they showed like character models and armor. Looked really, really awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. This game looks really good. And plus, I am a fan of Nier Automata.
You're hyping me up for it more.
Yeah,
you know, because I didn't think much of it, but I was like, all right, you know, the studio made some bangers, but it didn't blow my mind. But it's a new game. We never heard about it, or I didn't hear about it before. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm more excited now that you're hyping me up.
And Bayonetta is like one of people's. That was like a '90s, like a high
I've been
90s
wanting to play
game,
that.
man.
People love that hack and slash.
Everyone loves that.
And I really love Nier Automata. I wanted to play the new one, Nier Replicant, which I had that on my Amazon wish list too.
Didn't they give us something like that for free? PlayStation? Didn't they give us Nier Automata or something?
No, that's
Xbox.
Game Pass.
You could play it on Game Pass. If you want to play Nier Automata, play it on Game Pass. You should check it out. It's a lot of fun.
How do you say it? Automata?
Automata?
Yeah, Automata.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that one, I was like really pleasantly surprised with that one.
How surprised were you with Strangers in Paradise?
I wasn't that turned off by it. Mark, I'm kind of curious to hear what you thought about the Strangers. Like, it seemed like, so this is the remastered version of Life is Strange, where it's just Life is Strange again, but it's remastered.
Oh, I was talking about the Dark Souls.
Did you notice how they showed like the what?
The Dark Souls one, the Stranger of Paradise.
Stranger in Paradise.
But we could talk about the Life is
Strange,
because they did True Colors and then a remake of the other one.
Life is Strange, and Life is Strange. Did you see like they showed the old one and the remake? It didn't seem like that big of an improvement to me, man.
Yeah, it's a minor polish. Yeah, maybe 60 FPS.
Yeah,
I really like this series, so it's an affordable game. It was always like $20 when it was new, $10 on sale. So if it follows the same script, you know, it's the same price as old, but now maybe we have ray tracing, 60 FPS. I'll gladly play these games again.
Okay.
So I'm happy that they're keeping the, you know, Life is Strange going, because I feel like it's awesome story, awesome gameplay, and the character, everything's cool about it. So I'm happy that they're keeping it going, you know, for next gen.
It's just a remaster, but I really liked it. You never played it yet, right?
I have not touched any Life is Strange.
Good, man.
You like it?
You'd really like it, honestly.
It seemed like True Colors looked like it might be kind of cool.
Dude, True Colors, she has the new empathy psychic power where she can like read thoughts and like see how people are feeling. Which I think because I'm on like this Disco Elysium kick where like I'm talking to a lot of people and like having empathy or, you know, rhetoric with people, that this really appealed to me because I'm really liking Disco Elysium like a whole lot. And so seeing this, I was kind of excited because it's kind of cool. You see someone there, you can kind of read his thoughts, and then now you have some insight to use to get them to do something for you, or get them to reveal information for you, whatever it may be.
Seems like really a cool little game that's out of the normal of the regular stuff that you play, because there's no really combat or anything like that, right? It's just navigating these people's feelings,
which is what
world.
Disco Elysium's into.
Yeah. So that's cool. But yeah, I was asking you before, like, how did you feel about Stranger of Paradise?
Yeah,
which is supposed to be the.
This was what I think we're all pretty excited to see.
This was the leak.
This was the Dark Souls Square Enix joint, right?
Final Fantasy and it is a Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be like how it all started,
supposed to
right?
be before
like the sequel,
all the
yeah,
games,
it's
right?
like how Final Fantasy began, like what started it all,
Okay.
what caused the destruction and the enemies and everything.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This looked more generic to me.
All right, I am
See,
happy
first Babylon Fall, this looked more generic.
I'm
to
happy
me
you
than
agree
that.
because I
Yeah.
feel like first, like the main character, his
Yeah.
model, he's wearing a t-shirt. He has like a little buzz cut. He looks as generic as possible.
Yeah.
Whereas the boss looks awesome. You know, he's decked out in his gear.
Yeah.
He has a cool voice, cool weapon.
Didn't they say that you could customize these guys though?
Oh, they did?
I don't know. I thought
Okay,
that I
that'd
heard
be
that,
cool
but
if
I
you could
don't
customize.
I don't
the
recall
character.
that.
know. Okay.
But it looked generic as heck. The combat looked pretty fun. You know,
Yeah.
in the little corridors. For some reason, it kind of reminded me of Godfall, like generic-y. Like the world wasn't amazing because you know in Godfall, right? The world wasn't.
It was shiny and ray traced, but yeah, it was
There was
quarter
nothing
combat.
special.
It was
much
quarter
to-
combat. Yeah,
And this
it
kind of
was,
reminded me of the corridor combat as
mhm.
well.
You just walk down corridors and kill things.
Exactly.
No, I feel very similar to how you feel about this game. It was very much, very last gen-y, like
Yeah.
early
Oh, yeah, for sure.
last gen, like graphically. I didn't actually like that it was you have two guys walking around with you. I'd rather have just been myself.
Yeah.
More Dark Souls. Would it make it more Dark Souls? I don't need like companions.
Yeah.
Unless I want to summon them, then
Yeah.
I get it. I could have done without that. That I don't like that, you know. And then the writing didn't seem that great. He's constantly saying chaos. I'm
That
here
was
to kill
annoying.
chaos. Where is chaos?
I was gonna say that,
need to
like, dude,
kill
if this is
chaos.
all this dude
Chaos,
says,
chaos.
I'm about
Dude's
to
annoying,
sell
dude.
this
I
shit
know,
quick.
dude.
Like,
it was really really weird. It was like, what in the
got
world,
to have
dude?
more chaos. I love chaos.
The
I
ol-
eat chaos for breakfast.
The only thing I'll say is like a little bit what Mark was saying was the combat at times looked cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
where I
sitting
can,
there
like-
freezing something in
Yeah, and you
crystals
crush
then
it or
breaking
whatever.
it or
like,
whatever. Yeah,
there was some cool things there, and I'm going to reserve my judgment on if I like this game a lot or not because Team Ninja was involved.
yeah.
And I'm a really big fan of
Good point.
Neo. I love Neo 2 a lot. And I trust them to do something good, but this had me worried.
Yeah.
Definitely had me worried. I was let down on this one for sure.
Yeah, it definitely I didn't like the fact that they kept saying this, this chaos
Yeah.
thing with this dude's
The main
voice.
character was annoying, dude.
His
Really
face
annoying.
and his just like
He
his
was
whole setup, he
Some
just
weird
looked boring.
obsession with chaos, dude.
Yeah, but he
Really
just
generic
looked
as hell.
looked boring. He didn't look like
Mm.
oh I want to play that guy, you know what I mean? Like it just
And
seemed
no cool
he
armor.
just
Just
seemed
a
basic
t-shirt.
as fuck, So but hopefully we can see more about the damn game to get
Yeah.
a better idea of what's going on in this and
Yeah.
how it plays. Because we saw a little bit of combat, but it still looked like Final Fantasy to me. I didn't really see a whole lot there that looked like Team Ninja aspect
Yeah.
going on.
I think
So
just the
besides the
combat,
darkness or
the
something.
combat is a little different than Final Fantasy to some degree. From what I've played on 7.
I
and
also
Final
haven't
14,
played
it's a little
15
different.
or,
Yeah.
or whatever.
I played the
so
more
I
recent
don't know.
ones, and
Yeah.
so
So
it did look like they were trying to go Dark Soulsy.
Yeah, because it was a
Right.
lot more grim and eerie. You
Yeah.
know, the Final Fantasy games are a little more light and outside-ish. This was very grim, and for some reason, it reminded me a little bit of, I don't know why, but Devil May Cry. Like, I didn't play too much of it, but like the combat and things like that, it just had a kind of Devil May Cry feel to
Yeah, it
it.
did seem like it was like Dark Souls or Devil May Cry with lock-on, one-on-one combat.
See, that shit reminded me more so of Code Vein than it did Devil May Cry. But
Yeah, Code Vein was not good. It was a letdown, I think.
Yeah.
I tried it too because I love Souls-like games,
Yeah.
and I gave it a good handful of
you gave it a
man.
good go.
Yeah,
The good
but
old college try.
shut it off, man. It was too easy.
Yeah,
Right? It was like
It
it,
was
wasn't
pretty
fun.
simple.
It wasn't even fun. It was just like a joke.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I guess moving on from Square Enix.
But,
we're-
oh,
Wait, what did we grade Square Enix?
I would
though?
say there's two other cool things though.
okay, what'd you get?
You reminded me of this earlier. The Final Fantasy remix.
pixel art.
Those are
remix.
coming to
okay.
Steam and phone.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like those old, like classic, those are good classic
Mhm.
role playing games. Those are
Yeah.
awesome on the Pocket and awesome on the PC.
Mhm.
So that's one good thing. And then they're doing a remake of the
Legends
of Mana,
which is a great game from Super NES.
So I played this way back in the day. I used to play this with my cousins and my grandma. We all played this on the Super Nintendo. So I want to play this game again. So that was cool. It's a remake, nothing new, but it's cool that they're re-releasing it. So
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'm excited about both those things too. Like, because I like pixel art because I'm indie guy, and And I was like, oh, that's really neat. That appeals to me.
Yeah,
right.
sure.
I like that. I might actually play those because of that. And then Secret of Mana is a classic. You know, I'll probably end up playing that. That's like a great game for the Switch, I think, and it's coming out on Switch.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, what would you grade Square Enix overall as a show?
I would say, because the Dark Souls games, I envision something a little more grand in my head. I'm gonna give them a B.
Okay,
it's a solid B, maybe B plus. But if the Dark Souls game was a little better, you started selling me on what's that Babylon
Fall.
Babylon Falls. You started selling me. I'm gonna go back and watch it and give it another chance. But I think with both of those games, they have a lot of tried and true, like with the Final Fantasy remakes and all that. But they have two potentially really awesome games. So I would say B plus. I give them a solid B plus.
I give them like a B minus.
B minus.
Because the only one that I really cared about, or that I was surprised and enjoyed, was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Was looking forward to the
great,
Strangers of Paradise or whatever.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, it's just kind of like, you know what I mean? This might be whatever. You know what I mean? So the other stuff was just like so for me. You know, I don't have Marvel's Avengers, so I ain't playing it. So
yeah.
You don't have? Oh yeah. I'm a B plus to A minus because I liked everything they showed. Almost everything they showed, it really appealed to me as the type of gamer I am. I thought Avengers was probably, next to Elden and a couple other games, one of the best games revealed at E3, in my opinion. And it's a Square Enix game, and they revealed it. They held it at the chest.
Right.
They didn't reveal it at the Game Fest.
Awesome.
They saved it. Every piece, because they had a lot to show.
Yeah.
They didn't give even a piece out.
Right.
They saved it all. I love
it was
that.
not announced until
It was not
that,
announced
that
at all
section,
until Square Enix. And then every game, the Final Fantasy Pixels, the Secret of Mana, Babylon's Fall, Life is Strange, even Paradise was the one that was a letdown for me, which why I could maybe bump it down to a B plus. Had that been a great game, this is an A, easy.
Yeah.
But because of that, I can see it bump down to a B plus. But otherwise, I thought this was a really good conference.
Yeah.
It may have not been like super polished. It was kind of generic, but because everything was in what I look for in gaming, I was most excited about this one. So for me, it's a B plus, maybe even an A minus, like a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good point. I agree with what he says. Like every game, it didn't let me down. Other than this, I was hoping that the Strangers in Paradise, but I would still play Strangers in Paradise.
Right. Exactly. I'm still going to play it properly.
It looks fun.
Exactly.
I still want to give it a try. So there's no bad games.
Right.
Everything here is worth your time to play it.
Yeah. Exactly.
So moving on from Square Enix, let's slide into Nintendo. So they had it seemed like what was a pretty lackluster, kind of brief Nintendo Direct, right? I mean,
this was one
they had it was like a Nintendo Direct with like a Treehouse Live, right? And it seemed more like a regular ass Treehouse Live than it did as like a Nintendo Direct or something or like an E3 event. This just seemed like some shit that they would have just put out regular without E3.
Agreed.
Right.
So I mean, they showed a lot of other games on there. There was some that I was excited about, like Super Mario's Super Shot or whatever. That's like the golfing game.
Yep.
I tend to like the fictional sports games like that. Like the Mario Tennis, the golf and all that stuff, because it's really fun to play with. And it seems like it's fairly easy enough to get your kids in and involved and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you guys saw any other big ones. I mean, they showed us Mario and Rabbids, before the other guys could, Ubisoft or whatever. So we'd already seen it.
How did you think the flow of the show went with the way they presented everything, with their commentators and announcers? Was it a good show, or was you just excited about the games that they revealed? How did you feel about just the presentation and everything?
I would say the presentation was in line with all of their Nintendo Directs. They didn't go above and beyond.
Right.
This wasn't any extra grand event.
Right.
If this was like Marcus was saying, if this was just our Nintendo Direct for the month of March.
Regular ass day.
Yeah, it was
regular
generic,
business.
right? I thought it was generic too.
Yeah, business as usual.
Yeah, business as usual. Generic.
So, no points on that regard. But I would say they had a lot of titles that surprised me. Advance Wars Dual Strike. I know you like Advance Wars. That was a cool one. That surprised me. I was like, we get number 1 and 2 with the little, remake.
Yeah, I thought the correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the remake, like the direction they went, was a little strange, a little cartoony, a little more.
Yeah.
I don't know. They needed a little more texture. Or I don't know what. A little more polish to me would have made it better. I might have to go back and it might wear on me.
Yeah.
For Advance Wars?
I thought that was a little bit
You're right.
weird.
It was it's a very basic remake.
Yeah, very
like it's
basic.
hard. Yeah. This is not what we envision when other companies remake old games. This is just like a repolishing, like, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to play, you know, number 1 and 2 some more. So I was really excited.
I would have been jumping up and down had it been a new one.
with, you know,
with those graphics. I would have been like jumping up and down.
Absolutely.
That would have been like my favorite game.
Absolutely.
But because it was just a remake, and I was a little put off by the way it looked.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember that game we saw that Advance Wars copy at?
Yes.
It looked like that, and that left such a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
It was so clunky and bad when we played that it looked similar.
Right?
Yeah, the PlayStation experience. That it was making me feel like that game, and I was like, ugh. But I have to trust and remember, this is Advance Wars. This isn't that.
They got the recipe.
They have the recipe.
Yeah,
this is going to be fun. But I really would have liked a new one, like a whole new story, a whole new experience. But I did like it. I will say that I really liked Nintendo's direction in that every game was this year. I think almost everything except Breath of the Wild 2 was like in 2 or 3
and they
months.
showed that at the very end, because
and
they
so
were like,
wow,
it's not really ready yet, but here's just a little bit.
Yeah,
you know
everything is like now, which is kind of like what I was predicting for Microsoft. I wanted, okay, we're done. Everything you see, you're playing within the next months, you know?
Right.
And Nintendo did that with like all these Wario,
all
these things, Shin Megami Tensei, all these games.
Yeah.
I really wanted Pokemon though, man.
Absolutely.
Badly.
Yeah, man. I feel like they dropped the ball on that. Like they should have showed us that freaking game.
And no Nintendo Switch Pro. So those are like huge letdowns to me. Really weird.
How'd you feel about them adding the new contender as the very first thing that they showed?
I liked it. Because I'm a fan of Smash Brothers. So I was like, is Tekken coming to the Switch?
See, that's what I thought. I thought Tekken was coming to the Switch.
That would have been dope. Because that's
that
last
would have been better, right? Than just a new
game.
character.
But that was a letdown. I mean, it's not bad, but I was like, dude, does this mean we're getting a Tekken on Switch? That'd be cool because that was the last.
That would have been cool, yeah.
But it was just a character, so I was like, the character's still cool, but it, you know how your head goes wild and you're like, oh yeah,
I was wondering.
Yeah,
I was really hoping for like a one last thing. They didn't do a one last thing this time.
Yeah,
the one last things be like the Busters, man.
With the Pro, when are they going to announce that? That's not coming this year now, right?
I think it's too
late
soon.
now to announce it.
Yeah,
if it's coming out like November or
I don't think so because I feel like everything. This was a roadmap, like you were saying, of all 2021.
Right,
stuff.
of all 2021 stuff.
It's and early 2022 potentially. So I think it's far out. Maybe the ship shortages.
Shocked.
Maybe I don't know.
So shocked there was no Nintendo Switch Pro, man. I was so
I feel like that would have brought up the tier of the grade,
man.
But because we didn't have that and we're anticipating that was a really letdown. But going back to some games that I did like, I love Mario Party, more specifically the 64 one, and all of them on the GameCube. I love those games, and I put a lot of hours into those back in the day. So I'm glad we're getting the current engine,
Superstars,
the current engine, but all the old maps and mini games. So I'm like, that's perfect recipe.
Yeah,
it's not a new game, yes, but all the awesome mini games that everyone loves,
the ones we always love,
all the maps
it goes back to the board game, which we all love. The board game, I don't know if you ever played Super Mario parties, but the board game method where like you're jumping on a board and you go to the next game.
Right.
Everyone loved that aspect of Mario Party, and so
it's awesome.
Kind of going back to their roots.
What'd you think of the Game & Watch?
The Zelda Game & Watch?
Yeah,
it was awesome.
That one was more worthy. Because those are long games.
Yeah.
Mario's
they're really long.
Game.
We're talking about Link's Awakening and shit like that on there, dude.
That you're getting on that thing for two of those games.
And they gave you like 3 of them, plus that old ass
which
one.
Which none of us would play.
Yeah, but
that was closer to
that was
buying.
Yeah. I was like, damn, because I was still contemplating kind of getting the Mario joint, But I feel like the Link's one has like a little bit more substance to it.
You would play that
absolutely
on the road or whatever. I would.
Yeah, I would bring that. I'd bring that probably to work, you know what I mean? I'm on a break or something like that, because it doesn't, I can't bring in certain electronics where I work at. So I can, that one doesn't have any kind of Wi-Fi or like a plug to like, transfer data or anything like that. Man. Yeah. So and it's small, you know what I mean? So it's something really real versatile to go. It's probably like, like that big.
I was shocked. It's almost too small.
It's small.
Almost. Yeah, like smaller than
it's smaller than that. Yeah, for sure.
It seemed a little tiny. I don't know.
Yeah, because my brother and I used to always play the Mario games on Game Boy, and same with the the Zelda games on Game Boy. So last Christmas I bought my brother the Game & Watch.
Okay,
so
cool.
it's pretty cool.
So you got him the Mario one?
Got him the Mario one. So probably gonna get him the Zelda one this year too.
That's what's up.
But I like these, and I kind of want to just buy one to have one in the box, or just
just
I feel like these are kind of
like seem like they don't go down in price. Like they still $50 if you look
everything
for one.
Nintendo, man.
Yeah. I feel like things like this are just cool to have,
It's their MO.
For
even
sure.
if you never play it, it's just cool to have this.
I mean, I like it also for the clock aspect. That's on there.
You can whip it out and look at it. Yeah.
Well, like it's got a little mode that you can just have it sitting up on your shelf or something like that, or your desk or whatever, and it's just a clock.
Yeah.
And then every now and again, Link will run up and fight some shit on the screen, and then run off or whatever.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
It's just some cool little stuff. I think Mario's is like Mario will run and hit blocks and stuff like that for like a couple seconds or whatever and run off. But seemed like a cool little thing.
No, this one was much more
appealing
to me, definitely, than the Mario one.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
feel like I'm getting more for my money with this kind of game.
Yeah, Link's Awakening, awesome game.
Were either of you guys interested in Metroid Dread?
Yeah, we gotta talk about this, man. Where are you at on this?
So I'm a Metroid fan, but I would say my favorite of all the Metroid games was the one that came out for the DS in 2006, the Metroid Prime Hunters. So it was the first person one. Instead of is this a Castlevania style game?
This is a 2D
side
scroller or whatever.
So instead of being
Metroidvania,
instead of being a Metroidvania, it was more of a first person game,
like GoldenEye or something, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel like the Switch is lacking in that area. So I was hoping for, are we gonna see like Prime Hunters? But we got this, which is an awesome game. I like these Metroidvania style games, but I was just a little disappointed in my opinion, because I was like, give us a first person, give us something a little more, off the something that's not so safe, because it seems like all their games are remasters now, or they're following the same recipe. So I was like, maybe they can go a little different direction with this, but we didn't get that. But this is still an awesome game that I want to play. So
yeah, I agree almost entirely with you. This felt like lazy. I don't know. This felt lazy to me, because I think a lot of us were expecting that. A 3D open world kind of like,
dude, please.
Why are we looking at side scrollers now?
Yeah, that was really weird to me. And that's like, this feels like this is just the laser
and it was
to
like
get a Metroid out. Some people might even say a cash grab. I mean, I don't know if it's quite that, but it almost feels like a cash grab, man. Like, just slapped a Metroid name on this. I wasn't even really super impressed with the gameplay. I love Metroidvanias. We grew up on those, dude. Stone and I be on the playground playing Castlevania back to back with our Game Boys. I loved them.
Yeah, man.
Those are my
dope.
jam. But this one, I don't know, man. It didn't quite look like that exciting to me.
It didn't sell you.
Yeah, it's got the Metroid name on it, and it's got the whole exploration, the map and unlock things. But
that's cool.
$60? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure how I felt about it. I was let down. I wanted something like what you're thinking. That's what my mind was thinking.
Yeah, especially because the Pokemon, they're gonna have a open world Pokemon game. So I was like, dude, the sky's the limit with Metroid.
Absolutely.
Because everyone loves it. It's a good franchise, cool characters. So there's
the
a lot.
Only saving grace is it's coming out like October, I think,
this year,
or this soon. So that helps. But
yeah, so it was a little let down.
October the 8th, I think.
October 8th. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was a little let down, but I'll save my judgments for when I actually play it. So.
Oh, so you actually are gonna play it?
Yeah, I do want to get this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so are you going to get Dragon Ball Z Kakarot on the Switch?
So that's a game that, honestly, when it first came out on consoles, I was very interested in it.
I was interested in it.
I saw a lot of people play it on Twitch, and it looks really, really fun.
The only problem I have is that it keeps following the same track of all the stories that we've ever watched, if we've ever enjoyed the anime.
Fresh.
So it's like, damn, that's why I stay away from certain things, because I already know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I already know.
Watched the show a million times.
So it doesn't interest me because it's nothing new. Now, if they gave me a whole new story on Kakarot, I'd have been totally cool with that. But I feel like it's just giving it to you straight from Goku's perspective of whatever happened. So maybe the episodes where Goku was off training, you get to see him train. I don't know, but like it just didn't catch me because of that. But the fact that you were able to fly around, you had your Nimbus Cloud, you know what I mean? I think you control your son at some point too. And there's some other things going on or whatever. Yeah, but it was just like, damn, okay, it's not exactly what I thought it would be, you know? Like if I could just run around on the planet as Goku, just doing shit
and fight new and different enemies
and stuff like that. Yeah, then I'd totally be there for that, you know. But and then the fact that you're taking something that was originally made for like the PlayStation and the Xbox, and you're porting that shit to the Switch, I already know it's gonna look ass. So I'm not even trying.
Third-party games, you gotta wait for Pro on that, right?
Yeah, you gotta wait for the Pro.
You gotta hope that the Pro can output some shit. If I gotta plug it up to the docking just to be able to play it legitly, then I guess
but
maybe it's
worth it, man. That's why you get the Switch 4s to play these third-party games on the go.
Right.
Otherwise, I can plug it into my PlayStation.
Right. Which is why, you know, a few episodes back, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna do with the dock, man. Like, I want the shit to be on my screen and be playing like immaculate on my screen.
Exactly.
I don't want that damn dock. I don't want that extra.
I've always felt the same way. Like when they first announced Kakarot, I was like, oh, we've always wanted an open world non-fighter. I felt like every Dragon Ball Z that came out was a fighter.
All you're doing is this 1 versus 1 or whatever,
yes,
2v2.
Man, an open world, finally. But when you learned it was just following the sagas, that really put a needle in the in the
I don't know. It's like what do you have to do? Do you got to talk to the writer of Dragon Ball if he's still alive and like ask, hey, can I veer off and create a whole new story or some shit?
It's just about being safe. They don't want to take a risk. Like they have the source material. They know people like it, and so they think
they could literally get the people who are still doing Dragon Ball Super to just add a new story branch off. You know, like how they have the movies like Brawly and all these other ones that come out and they're just standalone movies. Just make this a standalone game. You know
or just hand it to a studio like Ubi or a place that's made open world games and let them make whatever. Yeah, I don't care what they make. Outpost.
Well,
I go attack Outpost.
I feel like you would want to
make it Spider-Man, right?
Outpost.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just go and attack some enemy outpost, and you
just fly around across the city, a New Age city, just destroying villains and bad guys, stealing shit,
things, collecting things.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
I mean, I definitely think that if they just got the writers to give them a scenario of a storyline, and then they can figure out how to do the storyline, that I'd be there for that. You know what I mean? Like make it so that it's not canon, but it does have something to do with the storyline because you got a lot of people that's already in the game. I mean, in the anime and stuff. But you know, that's neither here nor there. But like you mentioned, the Wario game, to get it together, that one looked like it was kind of fun, right? It just looked like another like Wario party or something like that.
Little party game, which of course is like. Those are like must buys.
And that was like a board game too, right?
Yeah,
like
you
a
play
board game or
games.
something.
Yep.
Yeah,
those are the ones you buy because when family comes over, you have something to play. Around. You know, like Mario Party. Like those are fun.
Yeah.
So you can't complain there.
Yeah. So I mean,
and that
you know,
Shin Megami Tensei Persona 5 Persona 5 copy. I mean,
so I don't really know how to feel about Shin Megami. You know, because I didn't really know too much about it until I had watched this trailer or whatnot.
Me neither.
But the fact that it looks just like Persona 5, I don't know whether to shit on it because it's like a copy or be grateful that, hey, there's another Persona 5 that we can do. But I would have to see if they're like taking the same stuff, but it's like a whole different story, then, you know, maybe that'd be cool. But I just gotta see some more about Shin Megami.
Yeah, my buddy Joe's a big fan. He just bought the remake, the Shin Megami Tensei 3 remake that they made for PS4 and PS5.
Has Shin Megami been out longer than Persona?
Yes. So
so Persona would be the imitation then.
So Persona came after this series, and it's made by the same people, same studio. I don't know. Let me look it up real quick. But
so I guess I'm in love with the imitation. So
I just don't understand though. I don't have a problem with it being like a similar style game, but why use the exact identical same models, same conversation? It looks like a straight copy and paste. That's what's weird to me.
Why would Persona have to use that same model? You know?
Persona 5, I don't think Persona 5 is like exact copy paste of Shin Megami 4. It seems like
according to this,
just the way it plays.
Outside of Japan, it's called Persona. In Japan, it's called Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh, so it's just another name.
Oh, that's what's confusing.
But it does say though that.
So then that's Persona 5.
And it does say though that Persona is a spinoff from their Megami Tensei franchises. But yeah, I guess the name literally outside of Japan is Persona. Over there,
it's Shin Megami
Tensei.
But we already have Persona 5, so they're just re-releasing it
in a different skin and like a different kind of way
onto the Nintendo. So
onto the new Switch. That is so bizarre, dude.
What was the game that the Switch has? Strikers?
Yeah, Persona 5 Strikers.
Okay, so I guess that makes sense. But why would you have Persona 5 Strikers and then you go with Shin Megami instead of just Persona 5? Added on there.
So actually, another thing. I guess Persona technically is a spin-off. I guess later it is straight up a spin-off. But all the Persona, it's in the same universe. It shares the same elements, the same monsters. So I guess later, Persona is a spin-off. But it's in the same exact universe as Shin Megami Tensei.
So you're gonna encounter the same monsters and
stuff.
It's
just a different
characters,
story,
different ways.
but it's literally the same world.
I see.
It's one world, but just different.
So is that why people are excited? Must be like people are excited about it.
I guess so.
Because it's like what you're saying.
It's just having a Persona 5.
It's just more Persona
onto the Switch.
Yeah, you get different people, different characters, different storyline, but same world.
But are they charging full price for this?
Oh yeah. This is a full pricer, dude. Yeah. That's a full
Because it seemed like you would just add it as like
that helps
DLC
clear up a lot of confusion, Mark. Like that helps clear up a lot of confusion.
Yeah,
so
it understands why the monsters and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's literally the same exact world and the same exact alternate dimension.
Just different people and a different
story.
And it says, I guess one difference is that in Persona, you recruit the demons to, be a persona. But it says in the Shin Megami games, you recruit the demons literally to play as or fight as.
Oh, okay, so Pokemon.
So it's more Pokemon.
More Pokemon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little different.
Which I guess would explain why it'd be like a super hit in Japan, right? Because they already got a Pokemon, and that's just another version of Pokemon.
That's intriguing.
And it says that the Persona games too are more real world. It uses like current yen or dollars, and the Shin Megami uses their own currency. Calls Maka or something.
Weird.
So, yeah,
it was just such a trip when I saw it. I was like, dude, that's tripping me out, man. I swear they're just copy and pasting, but I get now why. Yeah. It's interesting.
Okay, so looking at Nintendo's Treehouse Live.
Before that, what did you think
Direct.
Of Breath of the Wild 2? I mean, their coup de grace, Breath of the Wild 2.
I'll be quick with it. It looked the same as Breath of the Wild. Like they use the same engine, they use the same assets. To me, they use everything the same. But now we're getting some different abilities. It looked like there's some ability when there's big boulder-looking spiky ball, and they reversed it. They teleported kind of through a structure. So we got some new abilities in it.
You were in the sky too, right?
Yes.
So there's like flight maybe?
And there was...
Or you just got launched really high and you were just taking...
But I'm just saying that's a new area of the world to be in.
It's like a different plane.
Because what part are you talking about? When he was hang gliding?
Yeah, well, he was like up
But
in
he
the
was
clouds.
above the clouds, yeah. That just seemed like that was something, that bird dude just shot you up higher.
I'm just saying maybe that's like a new area a new area of the map.
Yeah.
Another place to go, right?
Did you ever scour the entire map of Breath of the Wild? So there could have been that shit there already. We never went over there.
Dude, yeah, there's a lot to explore that you don't have to explore in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
You can just do the story.
Which is why I was disappointed. I wish that they would have forced you to have to go to those
I agree.
areas.
I wish they would have forced a little more force to go to these places because there's a lot, dude.
Or put like a couple of badass weapons in those areas that makes me desire to go over there and check it.
But I agree too, though, that this felt like a copy and paste, and I wasn't really happy about that.
Yeah, those little goblins, the mob goblins and stuff, they just look like the same, you know what I mean?
When I see that, I'm like, what's taking so long? Right. And then they were like, our hope is to get it out to you by 2022. You telling me this could be 2023? This straight up original exact copy of Breath of the Wild? We're going to wait till 2023? I'm lost. You need to show more.
Maybe it just takes time with the story.
Yeah,
maybe that's what's taking so long. It's just the story of what they're gonna do.
Well, I mean, George R. Martin banged out a story real quick.
Yeah, he did.
So it must not take that long.
Who knows how long ago they commissioned him to do that story though?
5 years ago. At least.
They're just saying he's just saying that hey, I dropped it off to them a few years back, and they've had it. You know what I mean? They could have the moment that they did Dark Souls 1, they could have been like, hey, we need you to work on a sequel for us. Help us out. He took so damn long. They're like, hey, we got some stories. We just gonna drop a 2. We just gonna drop a 3. And then it's like, oh, okay. He finally got it to us. Let's start working on it.
I don't think it was that long ago, but who knows? We don't know, man. We don't
if
know.
he had gave us dates, that would have been real helpful in that interview.
Yeah, we just know it was long ago.
Yeah.
Because when they first announced Elden Ring, it made it seem like they're together right now, collaborating.
Right, yeah.
Now, that dude, even when that trailer launched,
he
that
dropped
dude
some shit off and
given
dipped.
that
He's
off
like,
years earlier.
Yeah.
Even when that told us that, he'd been done long ago.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I feel like it would have been more epic if George R. R. Martin was in the studio with them, like working on the game side by side, you know, adding little extra tidbits and stuff, as opposed to him like writing some things down and then giving it to them to just say, here, do what you want with it. You know, you already paid me, so you're good. Yeah. You know, I'm cool with whatever decisions you make. And then maybe they check on them every now and again to say, hey, does this monster look creepy enough? And you're like, yeah, well, it's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but back to Breath in the Wild, though, that would have been nice if they had someone fix that, because it sounds like if that's the case, because that's all I can think that's different between this and Breath of the Wild.
Right.
Because the world looks the same, the enemies look the same, the shading looks the same, it all looks the same.
Oh, he had different clothes.
Oh, he had
different
game.
clothes.
He had a tunic
instead
of like the regular
DLC,
shit.
Dude.
This feels like DLC.
Sure.
I'm a little disappointed. I'm disappointed, but I mean, I love Breath of the Wild, so we can't. Yeah. More Breath of the Wild isn't necessarily a bad thing, but we were really expecting another leap because they really leaped with Breath of the Wild.
Now, what if it's in the same kingdom, like with the same landscapes and shit? How you gonna feel, man? That you pay an extra $50, $60 for the same game,
same inventory,
same recipes.
I mean, honestly,
just added a few new abilities.
Honestly, the mace thing, you know, them big old spiky boulders that was coming down looked like the time thing, where you just stop time and then you just hit it and knock it backwards. That shit looked the same.
That's
right,
true.
actually.
The only ability that I saw in there that looked remotely brand new was when he did his little water droplet shit where he went up and then he phased through the floor of that ruin or whatever and appeared at the top of it. Like, that's the only thing. He's been hang gliding, he been taking flight. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Maybe he's shooting up into the clouds and then hang gliding around the clouds. I don't know.
Yeah, like, you know, some big strong wind current or something like that.
It seemed like they were trying to add another level. Yeah. Verticality to the game that didn't have,
or another level of deceit to make you think that you bought some new shit and it's really the same rewash.
We know that they like to play around with the fast and loose with the truth.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, Breath of the Wild was dope. So to see another one, like, even if I could continue some type of story in that world, it's cool. I just don't know if I'll get it off rip. I might wait until it comes on a $5 sale and get it for $5 plus, because that's all they'll give you.
Breath of the Wild is
you mean $5 all they're giving you is $5 off on them games. That's it.
All right.
I don't give a damn if it's 8 years old. Ooh, that shit's still selling.
Yep, Mario Kart.
I'll go play that bitch today, beat it, and still sell that thing for freaking mad money. But yeah, so as far as like the Nintendo conference in a whole, though, what would you guys rate this one? As far as like a letter grade,
I'm a little biased because a couple games I really wanted to play, so I'm gonna give this one a B-, but I think it's more deserving of the C territory. But I'm gonna give it a B- because there's some games that I really want to play. Breath of the Wild was a disappointment, but I'm still optimistic for it. So with those things being said, I'm giving it a B-, barely.
I'm a C. I'm right at a C because it was average. Everything about the show was average to me. There was nothing that blew me away. There was nothing that like really super excited me, but there was nothing that super disappointed me either. Right? I was just across the board average show. The only thing that would maybe push it to a C+ for me that I did really like was how they made all their release dates early. So everything we saw, I know I'm going to play soon. That matters a lot to me. But because what I get to play early wasn't that exciting to me, I keep it at a C. I'm not disappointed in the show, but I'm not super excited in the show. So that's honestly how I felt. Just blah, right down the middle.
Yeah, I give it like a C+ or like a B-, just because they showed quite a bit of gameplay a good majority of the games that they showed. You know what I mean? They showed us what WarioWare was working with. They showed us what Mario Super Shot was working with. They showed us like a lot about the other stuff. You know what I mean? And then they gave us Breath of the Wild 2. And I feel like they could have just left that out if they had wanted to, but I feel like they had a trailer, so they're like, let's give it to them. You know what I mean? Like, even though it wasn't like a whole lot, it was at least they giving us something to let us know, you know, enough with the speculation. Yes, we are making it. You know what I mean? Because there ain't no guarantees, you know, until they announce it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I'm going to say this. There's one thing that I don't know why they didn't show in their coverage.
Pokemon Arceus?
The Pokemon Unite. So they announced it the day after. It's coming to Switch next month in July. So it's the free-to-play MOBA.
That one we were talking about.
Tencent game.
Long time ago.
Yes.
We
I remember that
reported on that game.
The next day, they said, hey, it's coming out July 22nd, I believe. Sometime mid-July. And they had a little gameplay trailer.
It would have been nice to have a refresher on that.
Yeah, because I was excited for
some
this one.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
like, where's Pokemon at in this show?
So
where's Arceus, man?
Exactly.
It hurts the show.
I don't know why they didn't
announce
announce
great.
this at the E3, but that's coming.
Yeah, that is weird. I didn't see that one. I'll have to go and check that one out and see how that is. I'm not really like a huge fan of MOBAs, but I'll definitely, you know, check it just to see it. But yeah, so did you already give it a letter grade?
Yeah, he said a B minus.
B minus. Okay.
So I was B minus.
So around
C
the
plus,
same,
C.
like C plus.
So this
B
thing
minus,
this
like
averages out to about a C plus of a show.
And like I said, I was biased 100%.
Yeah.
So I admit that. And I think in the C range is what it deserves.
Yeah.
But,
Are you gonna get Super Shot, or that's not really your steez?
I don't know. My brother and my dad like golfing, so I might get it. But for sure, the Mario Party is a day one. I need that. I need the Mario Party. But the tennis I haven't bought yet.
I have tennis.
You got Mario Tennis?
I want to get it though. Like I love the.
I like all the
game.
Mario spin-offs of sports. They're fun.
Yeah, the sports games is the fun
they're a
ones,
lot of
you know?
fun. Yeah.
And then I think in that one, the Super Shot thing, you could put your me in there. You created me to play in there and stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought all that shit was fun, like the speed
I
golf.
just think it would have been cool to see all that on the Pro, the Switch Pro.
Yeah.
Better graphics, higher frame rate would have been just fun. I think. Which
for
I
sure.
don't know.
Definitely the higher frame rate and shit. But moving on. The very last topic that we have today is Microsoft, of course, and their press conference.
Yep.
So they showed a lot of stuff and like a lot of nothing, you know, at the same time.
A lot of mediocre, but a lot of stuff.
Right. You know.
How did you guys feel overall as you were watching the show? Were you excited, happy, let down, surprised, encouraged? What do you think? How did Microsoft do?
I kind of felt like whatever. I mean, it's kind of like what we were talking about, you know, what we had discussed before the show is that, like, you know, when we had first saw that, Microsoft and Bethesda was working together on this, we thought, Microsoft don't really got shit. And Bethesda's got all the bangers, right? I'm thinking we're going to see Indiana Jones. That's what I predicted. You know what I mean? I thought we were going to see some Starfield. You know what I mean? A bunch of other things going down the pipeline. And we didn't get, like, we barely got any of that. Like, I mean, we got a little bit of Starfield, but it was like a minute bit. It was
I
small,
thought
tiny bit.
Bethesda really lacked here. I mean, I'm looking through the list here, and was it only Starfield that they even revealed?
They revealed Fallout 76's new DLC coming out.
Yeah, and I know that they said there's more of their games coming to Game Pass that are already out.
Right, all the older stuff. Yeah.
But I think that was it.
Mm-hmm.
What a letdown, dude. I mean, I think part of the problem is some of the stuff they're working on right now is for PlayStation. Like, you know,
like they're still working with Deathloop.
Right, and like some of the things they're doing right now are not really exclusive to Microsoft yet.
Right.
So I think they'll get off and running next year. But dude, like, it's just funny because we were talking about this before the show or before E3. Why do we think they're combining each other? That in the past, Bethesda always had enough to have their own show, and all of a sudden they're combining it.
It's because they ain't
made
do
it
shit.
Think like Microsoft needed help. Because that's what you thought. I kind of thought that way.
Right.
You thought it was reverse, right? That Bethesda needed help.
Yes, you were right.
But I think it was even neither one of us were right in the fact that I think neither one of them had anything. I don't think Microsoft had anything either. I mean, what did Microsoft really have? Stalkers 2?
Stalker 2. I mean, they showed.
Forza,
they showed
Halo,
Back
Forza
4 Blood
was cool.
and
I was like
Contraband.
Forza. But yeah, Halo was A letdown.
I mean, Contraband. It's like they reverted back to their old mistakes. You know, like in their past shows, they always gave you just like a little clip or like a screenshot.
That's all they've ever really done.
And that's like always been Microsoft's thing. They kind of reverted. They kind of gave us gameplay more in this one, like a little bit more of like a PlayStation-like conference. But then they would revert back sometimes, like with Contraband, and give us like, dude, why did you even bother revealing this? Like, why did you even bother telling us? Yeah. I know it's because you're desperate. You're desperate to show something, but there's nothing here.
Yeah, this is my perspective of this Microsoft Bethesda showcase. What it was a really long Game Pass commercial.
Yeah.
That's all this crap was. Mm-hmm. It's just a Game Pass commercial.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less.
I mean, I was actually interested in Sea of Thieves, right? I've never downloaded it and checked it out.
It's awesome.
But the fact that they were adding the Pirates of the Caribbean aspect in there, for free $99, I was just like, okay, damn, I might actually download it and check it out, because it was like all new like gameplay and stuff like that was going to be added into it. So, I was like, okay.
Oh no, I will say the other Bethesda game was Redfall. It's the Arcane Studios, Bethesda studio.
Okay, yeah.
And that was the one at the very end, which looked to me like a Back 4 Blood.
Right.
Just another Left 4 Dead. Honestly, that's what it looked like to me. There's this fad going around now. Like, all of a sudden, there's this fad again for these Left 4 Dead type games.
Yeah.
And why? When I know Back 4 Blood's going to do it the best anyways. Yeah. They invented it. They're going to do it the best anyways. Like, why am I going to play, Ghost Recon Extraction when I know that Back 4 Blood's going to be better? Why am I going to play this other one when I know Back 4 Blood's probably going to be better?
Yeah.
How did you feel about what they show with Starfield? Did you...
Weak. We didn't even see any gameplay.
I wanted to know like more about the story or something like that. Like, give me a synopsis or something.
It was
like,
just some
give me a little bit more.
pre-rendered trailer of... I mean, it looked pretty, but is this the actual gameplay? No. So, you guys can take it back.
Dude.
Yeah.
We got nothing. Not even a UI.
We got hosed.
We got nothing, man.
We'll go back to the leaks. The 5-year-old leaks.
Yeah, the leaks are more revealing than this, dude.
Yeah, they did have a little bit more information.
I mean, it looked like when you're in the ship and you see like all the little things on the wall, the detail. That's a Bethesda game. Like, you see that there, that little touch of Bethesda.
Yeah.
But that's it. There's nothing else at all they gave us. And this is coming out in 1 year.
Yeah.
I'm just like, really? That's really... What is that telling us? What is that communicating? That they're not even... Is this another Cyberpunk? Like, what is that communicating to us where they don't even feel comfortable showing us any gameplay yet when we're only 1 year away from it releasing?
I don't know, because I feel like if they had shown us a lot, that could have been like the game winner of the freaking...
Absolutely.
Of the whole E3.
Maybe even better than Elden Ring, right? It could have maybe even toppled Elden Ring as far as game of show.
Yeah, if you had given like some good details and showed us a lot about it, I think it could have definitely done that. But I don't know.
What about the Outer Worlds 2? Did you guys like that cinematic trailer they showed?
I mean, it was cool. It didn't seem like too much going on for me, but I mean,
it just felt like
Outer
more
Worlds.
Outer Worlds. Of course, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I loved Outer Worlds, so I'm definitely waiting, for more.
What about, I mean, we get no date, we get no information. It reverts back to their whole habit of doing that.
Well, what about Grounded?
I definitely thought that the stuff that they were adding with Grounded was dope, because they're doing like another edition, adding some stuff in. They've gone a long way. So, and I mean, Grounded is always keeping you updated with the stuff that they're doing. They always do like the developers themselves always drop a video online to tell you like the stuff that they're coming out with on the next update and stuff like that. So, I'm always ready to play some more Grounded. That game is fun. What about Psychonauts?
I'm excited about Psychonauts.
Yeah.
Actually, when I saw the trailer, I was a little bit more impressed than I was expecting it to be. Mm-hmm. Like, it looked a little more updated. It still kind of looks old.
That's what I was disappointed with, man. The shit still looks like
it still looks old, but it looked a little better than what I was expecting. I was expecting really janky, like original.
Well, I feel like the only reason it looks better is because the console just pushed it.
That's
up.
true.
Like, I felt like the developer did nothing extra to it. Double Fine didn't do shit to their
I still think it's gonna be a lot of fun though, man. Like, even watching that, I still think it's gonna be a lot of fun. The psychic powers moving things. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun still. Yeah. So I think that's going to be fun, and that's a Game Pass game in August. That comes really soon.
Yeah, I guess the best thing about it is that it's free.
It's free. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Honestly, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's not gonna be Ratchet and Clank, but it's gonna be their competitor, right? That's what they would probably show as their competitor to Ratchet and Clank.
Right.
Part. Just not gonna even touch that, man. Ratchet and Clank is a masterpiece compared to that. But I think it's gonna be a lot of fun still. I'm still looking forward to playing
Jack
it.
Black voice acting some characters in the upcoming Psychonauts
I think
game?
so. I think he is.
we talked
I
about
thought
that
he
before.
did.
So that should be cool. At least
I'm
they're
not
putting
sure.
some
Marcus has got to be super pumped. Hades coming to Game Pass
yeah,
on
Hades to Game Pass.
August
Yeah,
13th.
I mean, we were talking about that. It's like, it's so crazy because the shit that be coming out for like the PlayStation ends up coming out for the Xbox and it be free.
Yeah.
On Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's just like, damn.
That's the only reason why this show has any redeeming quality to it. Is because everything they're showing on screen is
on
Game
Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Yeah.
They showed 30 games and 27 of what they showed are on Game Pass. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just like that's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely Hades on Game Pass. Like
That's
when
huge.
we had found out that it was coming to PS4 and PS5 or whatever, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll buy it then. But the fact that it's gonna be on Game Pass and I don't have to pay anything extra for it, I'm definitely loading that on my console as soon as possible.
Yeah, that was huge, man.
What about like I know it's probably like an odd one, but Slime Rancher too.
I was always interested in those games.
That seemed
That's
like a cool little
yeah,
time
it's okay.
waster. Like
yeah, it
almost
was
maybe
okay.
like a puzzler
It
or
wasn't
something
like
that.
super exciting.
Yeah.
One game that actually really excited me and funny enough might have even been my favorite game revealed was Replaced. You probably saw me put that on our little patron poll.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I had a bunch of big name games, and at the bottom
I didn't
was
know.
Replaced.
I didn't see Replace, so
Dude,
I didn't know
Replaced
what that was. I
looked
thought
really
you were adding like a replacement or something like that.
Placeholder.
Yeah,
Nah,
but I
dude,
did see
like,
that in the Patreon for sure.
Have you watched that video? Do you remember the trailer? Do you remember it just slipped? Dude,
I
it
don't think
looked
so. I have to see it again.
Good.
I have to look at it again.
I was just my mouth was. I love the indie games, but this one had like such great character setting, storytelling, combat, music. I mean, I was just really, really impressed by this one. So that was probably my favorite game.
I'm gonna go back and
from
check that one
Xbox.
out.
Yeah,
even
for
though
sure.
that because I mean, had I seen gameplay from Starfield or had Halo Infinite been more awesome, I mean, Halo Infinite, people are going to be excited about that because the multiplayer looks like multiplayer and it's free, but that doesn't excite me.
The multiplayer it just looked like the lesser version of the Infinite that they were talking about. You know, where it's like, oh, we improved the graphics. They cool, but they not great. You know what I mean? It just looked like that. I was like, damn, man. It's like, oh yeah, it's cool that the multiplayer is for free, right? Because people, you know, might have been turned off by the game and they don't want to spend the money on the campaign, so at least they'll be able to enjoy the multiplayer, which is what a lot of people had bought Halo 4 was to do the multiplayer. But I don't know. It still just doesn't look that great to me. Like, it doesn't look like it's next gen. I feel like they need to just...
Where are you at on that, Mark? Like, you play a lot of Warzone. Did it appeal to you at all, the multiplayer aspect of Halo? Does that? Yeah,
of course.
Are you going to put some time into that?
I love the Halo games. To me, it peaked at Halo 3. That was my favorite online.
Of course.
With the rank system and everything was just so balanced. So I'm hoping they have some sort of rank system online. As long as they have a cool rank system, then I feel like this is going to do well. But because it's free, I think that's a good recipe to, make a lot of money. They're going to have battle passes. In the trailer, when the guy with the sword was like charging in, he had like some sort of, there was like a armor set that was like a samurai armor set from Halo 3.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
Which you had to
that
play,
samurai armor set looked really cool.
You had to play the campaign and like find all the skulls.
Oh, to get that, huh?
So I'm like, I wonder if it's the same thing. You have to play the campaign to unlock all the badass armor, because that would be really cool. Because that was one of my favorite things. Back then, I only played multiplayer games, but I played all the Halos because I wanted to unlock all the cosmetics for the base game. Didn't spend no money.
Right.
So I'm hoping that they follow that same recipe for this. Because that would be awesome if they give you that for free. It's like a little taste, but I want to unlock something special. Got to go beat the campaign or do something in the campaign. It just makes the game a little more a great package. So I'm hoping that they do that. But apart from Halo, I'm just gonna say Halo met my expectations. It didn't blow my mind.
Sure.
But there's two games though. I'm gonna talk about something else. There's two games that actually were really interested in. One was Flight Simulator coming to the console. I thought that was cool. because I feel like that'd be a cool game to play on the couch, just chill.
Maybe.
I always like the simulator games for some reason, all of them. One that I really want to get recently is the farming simulator. So there's a new one coming out. I'm gonna get it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like the simulator games, and the second one was Age of Empires 4. So this is a PC.
Damn,
only
PC
game.
though, man.
But I always liked all of the Age of Empires. And
is it an RTS or is it like it's an RTS?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is another Game Pass Day 1 freebie.
RTSs are cool. I just they're really hard if you want to be good at them, and that's what's always been tough for me to get into it.
But
like a high skill cap.
The cool thing about the Age of Empires is it always had a cool story.
Yeah.
So
if you just want to do the story mode, easy. Yeah.
They always had an awesome story. And it's a Game
That's
Pass
cool.
freebie.
Free Game Pass. I'll download it.
So it's a cool just to try the latest.
I won't, but it's definitely cool.
Where do you think about Horizon 5? Forza Horizon 5?
That's why I love the Horizon games. Because they're a little more open. It's an open Forza experience.
Yeah.
So it's cool because if your friends play and you're doing something, I'm like, oh, Sir Knight was here before. This was his score. Let me try to beat him. So although your friends don't play with you, if they did play, there's a lot of ways where it actually makes it feel like a living world. Even though you're the only one in it right now, I could see what Godly did or you did. And it takes place in Mexico. This is more like it looked like deserty.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's gonna be cool. If
some tropical aspect, beaches and stuff. Yeah.
That'd be cool if they added more like maybe like rally cars or maybe some off-roading modifications to the cars. But it looked really good. I always loved the Forza. I used to play it with my brother and my dad, back on the 360s and stuff. So the Forza series always had a special place in my heart, and specifically the Horizon one, because this is not the traditional racing sim where you're just trying to go in laps. This one, you can literally go wherever you want, do whatever you want. If you find a little race somewhere in the world, you can do it. You build up your money, you build up your cars. It's just awesome, chill game to play.
I do really love the open world aspect of it, and that's enticing. I just don't know for me if racing is a good enough game mechanic to want to keep playing it. Like for instance, in other open world games like Skyrim, exploring the world is like one aspect of it. Sorcery is another, sword fighting is another, story is another. There's all these other elements to it that make me want to keep coming back to it. I don't know if racing is just enough in and of itself, which is kind of what my problem is with Riders Republic too. I don't know if just like racing around and racing on a different thing is enough to make me want to just spend hours on end playing it. I don't know if that's a good enough mechanic for me, which is why like racing games don't usually ever excite me. Forza, it's like Horizon excites me a little bit more than like Gran Turismo or like Forza the motorsport, because those are just racing around a track. I like the open world that adds an additional level to it that I think it does interest me, but I just don't know if it's enough to get me to want to keep playing it over like a Far Cry, right, or a Skyrim.
That's
so
fair. They do.
And also with Flight Simulator, I don't think Microsoft games appeal to me very much. Like I think they're coming into an era soon with like Bethesda and Arcane and some of these studios that do excite me. What's the one that makes that made Fallout New Vegas? Obsidian and like Bethesda, and these studios excite me, but none of these games are out yet. Like none of these games are launching yet, and so I feel like Microsoft is still like a year or two away from drawing in someone like me to become like a really big fan, other than Game Pass, because their games don't excite me very much. Flight Simmer doesn't excite me. Sims, they have lots of Sims like that, or like Halo. Like those games don't really excite me. I know there's an audience out there that just adores those games, and they're super excited for them. But just me on an individual level, I don't get as excited for those types of games as much, as other people might. And so I'm just not really ever super pumped about a Microsoft E3.
That's fair.
Starfield, I was hoping we get Starfield and some of these other Bethesda games, which I was getting excited for it.
Yeah. I really wanted to see that freaking Indiana Jones game.
And that too. That's great. Yeah, they didn't show us any of that.
Yeah, that was a letdown.
Nothing new that we have been expecting we got at this E3, which is really, really... the E3 as a whole kind of felt a little bit...
of a bust.
Fluff. Yeah, a little bit of a bust.
Yeah.
A little fluffy.
For sure. But yeah, so... I think that's all we got this week, right?
Do you want to grade this Xbox show? What did you think?
Yeah,
it was?
We do
what
need
do you
to
think
grade
it was?
To
what
me,
did you give it, Mark?
It was a solid C+ for Game Pass subscribers. If you're not a Game Pass subscriber, this is a D, in my opinion.
That's a great distinction, man.
Yeah.
I love that distinction.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a B+ for Game Pass subscribers, because there was just a lot that's that's coming out and that we know is coming out for the near future and stuff. So you got options out there.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
fact that they're adding things like Hades and stuff like that on there, is all good news. But yeah, as far as like showing us some breathtaking stuff, something to blow us away, giving us more of what we wanted, which is like Starfield and stuff. They could have even tried to play Russian roulette and throw out some 343, out there and give us some Halo Infinite gameplay so we can see what improvements they've made and, tell us that they're currently working to make it better or something. That would have been awesome, but they did none of that. They played it as safe as possibly could be.
They did. They played it very safe. Yeah. I was going to give it a B because I thought it was a good conference, and they had one of my favorite games replaced, and I have Game Pass, but I hadn't thought about that aspect, that really I'm looking at it from the lens of Game Pass, and I don't know if that's fair or not.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fair to think of. I think you should look at it as you're not a Game Pass. I think you should really, in a sense, look at this show as you're not a Game Pass subscriber.
Because, like I said, it's a Game Pass commercial. That's what their
thing
was.
Think
because all the games that we're excited for, like Hades coming, like a lot of things are like, oh, it's free now. But it's like, well, we should be excited about a new IP, a new game, and those were very limited.
That's a really great point. And I would bet the vast majority of people who are watching the show are not Game Pass subscribers. A lot of people are probably PlayStation users checking to see what they have, which is why it makes it seem like a Game Pass commercial rather than like a PC showcase of games.
Yeah, dude.
Right. And so from that perspective, if I were to grade it, then it would have to be a D, because that means everything they showed is just it's like a repeat or a redo or.
And there was nothing here that they showed that would have made somebody go, "Ooh, I need to buy an Xbox." Like today.
Today, you're right.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I can just get a subscription to Game Pass.
It made you want to get Game Pass.
It made you want to get Game Pass
on the PC, maybe.
But did it make you want to get a Series
Get you an
X?
Xbox One. You know what I mean? Get you a One
Did
S.
it make you want to get excited about Xbox?
But yeah.
Because like I was saying, I was going to give it a B because I liked it. I thought it was a good show. It wasn't incredible at all, but it was good. But really, I was skewing my perspective there. Everything I'm excited because Game Pass. It's really what I'm excited about, right?
Yeah.
I'm not really excited about the games. I'm excited about Game Pass. So, that's interesting. Interesting take. So I guess, those are our grades.
Yeah. So there you have it. But thanks for joining us this week. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll have one of them questions of the video down there below. So, hit us on that. We always talking in there.
Yep.
Appreciate all the new subscribers and stuff. Appreciate the Patreon support. Like I said, check out the shirts. We got them in there. We got some other ones we'll be throwing on there soon. And until next week, we'll catch you guys later. Deuces.
Peace.
See ya.
I love you, me.